a protein drink.
Now that's a post-workout meal.
That's right. That's why I want to apologize to the people because I always complain about people eating on podcasts, but just got my workout in, so I got to have 30 grams of quality protein with quality carbs.
Of a certain quality, we'll say.
Hey, these are actually good quality carbohydrates. Look at them.
I mean, for post-workout, you could argue the benefits, of course.
And there's less calories because there's a hole in the middle.
There's where it is. There's where it is. You're probably like...
Scientific fact, they actually did a study. When you get a donut and you break it open, the calories actually leak out.
I'll have to read that study.
That's actually calorie-free. It was done. The study was done by Krispy Kreme, but don't let that hold any weight to it.
Oh well, then fuck, you should have two.
Oh, I got more.
I know you got more. I knew you had more over there.
It is the Christmas edition. The next one we shall eat
yes.
Grinch.
So they start with the Christmas shit early in Australia too, eh? Okay.
They started probably a month ago here with fucking decorations and stuff, and then always now. Normally have Christmas Day, Boxing Day, the 26th, and now the 27th, the Easter shit starts coming out. Even before the New Year, they got Easter stuff on the shelves.
It's even before that, like when Halloween is over, it's like all the Halloween stuff comes down and all the Christmas stuff goes up. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Like Americans don't even get through their American Thanksgiving, which is, it's this weekend. They don't even, I can't believe that they don't even get through that.
Yep. Or they forget Valentine's Day and go straight to Easter. Just leave it all up. Just leave every decoration up all year long. Just.
Oh man, don't even talk, man. The amount of Christmas trees that I have in my house, even now, right? Every year we seem to add another tree. It's fucking unbelievable. We have 5 Christmas trees up here, man. 5.
Put them all up at once. Put them all.
They are all up at once.
Oh,
Kristen's gonna walk by here and she's gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Yeah, 5 Christmas trees.
Okay, do you get presents under? Do you get presents under every tree? That's the question.
We're not even going to be here for Christmas this year. We're going to be in Florida. Like, we're taking off for Christmas, and we still put up the 5 of them.
Take it with you. Go on the plane. Go on the plane and bring the tree along.
They're fucking sick. I'll tell you the tree I'm going to have for Christmas is going to be a fucking palm tree. That's it. Getting away from the cold. It's starting to get cold here now. Mark, how many trees do you put up?
Just the one.
Just the one? Yeah. Okay.
We did have a birch tree one year. For a couple of years, actually.
A birch tree? Did you cut it down yourself?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
but it was kind of neat. It was the white birch, but the littler ones are red. So it was
neat. I know the ones.
It's different.
Yeah,
it's different.
That is different.
We don't we just put up a tree and we got our little decorations. Me and the wife saved together.
You have those little Christmas balls with your names on them. Little names.
I don't think we have any specific ones with our names on it, but we definitely have some balls in there.
I always like the day or two after Christmas or 3 days later or even before. I love the beautiful Christmas stories of the tree catching fire and burning the house down and killing everyone. Nothing sends a Christmas message like that. Beautiful.
Every year somewhere, man. Every year.
Always. No, they put the lights on with the, it's got a broken light, little spark, and especially those trees, sometimes when they start dying, they just go up like, woof.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We used to do that when we were. What? Yeah, all ours are fake too. But when we were kids, that's what we used to do. Like when we were in high school, because they would do heavy garbage pickup shortly after Christmas, right? Getting into actually, no, it was more getting into the springtime. So all the Christmas trees, all the old Christmas trees went to the curb and they were all drying out at that point, right? A buddy of mine who will remain nameless, he knows who he is. we would go around with his father's four-wheeler and a trailer, and we would pick up like 40 or 50 of these Christmas trees. We took them up to the backwoods behind his place, probably like half a kilometer back, and we burned every one of those motherfucking trees at once, man. The flames were like 30 feet high. The cops showed up. We smoked out the whole neighborhood and everything.
Yeah,
Man.
they just go.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see.
Yeah. My buddy called shotgun in the cop's truck. I was like, you live right there. Like, we were hiding out in the woods.
Look at that little Grinch on there too.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Man,
the
you got it
candy
all.
Grinch. Yes, sir. Am I lagging today?
Yeah,
Little bit.
but I'll fix it.
Kids, do not do what I'm doing. This is very bad for your health.
Sure does look good, though, doesn't it?
Right, that one.
We'll have to hit a local Tim Hortons, Kenson?
That's where I'll be getting my breakfast tomorrow morning. I'll be up early.
How was that one today?
Don't do it. Yeah, again, don't do it.
You can't beat fresh donuts, though, can you, when they're fresh?
They got one like that there, but it has no hole in it, and it has custard or something in it.
Oh, yeah, they're good.
The Boston cream, they call it the Boston cream.
Yeah.
We don't have Krispy Kreme here.
I think I got one of them here, like Santa's belly there has custard in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no Krispy Kreme anywhere near here. I don't remember even seeing them in Canada anywhere.
Ooh, could be a business you can open one.
He's got his hands full.
I could have my hands full of donuts though. Yeah. That's not
Making
a bad
lots of dough from donuts.
That's how Tim Hortons started.
Yeah.
Couple of things I better get out of the way first. What is your diet like now, Lee? You're looking like you put on a couple of pounds in maybe the last little bit.
Well, that's probably because I started taking 20 milligrams of D-bol a day. Normally when I do that, I put on 15 pounds in 2 weeks.
Yeah, by 20 you mean
pure muscle.
Well, by 20, of course, you mean 200. That's what you really have to do.
I wish.
Everybody knows that.
only one little pink one every morning.
Well, do you track your calories like throughout the day now? No. Okay.
Never. Off season, even when I was competing off season, I never tracked my calories.
What, did you just go by number of meals?
Enough. I knew I was eating more than I needed, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember at one point you did. Fuck.
We never had a problem dialing it in, though.
No. But that's why I found it easier dialing in when I was heavy, because when I'm heavy and it came time to diet, I'm like, you got to do the hard work now. You got to diet strict. You got to do your cardio to get into shape. So when I was like 280, I always found it easier. 1 or 2 times I started my diet at 250. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm already 30 pounds lighter than I normally am. So I don't have to do cardio as hard. I don't have to do this as hard. So I actually preferred being heavy because it made me go harder rather than, I'm 30 pounds lighter. I can go a bit easy. So I preferred the challenge of losing more weight.
Did you ever have anybody helping you, like when it came to tracking calories or a meal plan or anything like that at any point? Never.
No.
So when you were down at Gold's, like, was everybody just kind of looking at each other before the whole coach and guru thing, and everybody helped each other out? Was that the thing, or? Yeah.
No, I didn't really spoke to anyone about it. Like, you go to the firehouse and see what anyone was eating, and like, when Paul stayed with me, Gillette stayed with me for 8 months. Like I said, I'd see what he was taking if he had left like a shot on the coffee table and that. And he was like me, would load up a stanozol syringe and probably sit there for 2 or 3 days. I'm like, is that yours or mine? I haven't taken mine. He's like, I think that's mine. I have. It's like, so, but we never discussed steroids. I never discussed diets. Even like he had his diet on the fridge by Chad Nichols and that. But I looked at it once and just went, no, it just looks like a normal clean eating diet. But when we go to the firehouse, Chris would be there, Flex and that. Not once did any of us ever discuss steroids, dieting. It's just never came up.
Never came up. Only the crucial
everybody
components.
thinks that's what you talk about, drugs, this and that, and that's all other. You go on message boards, or I was watching Ask Dave while I was getting ready for the gym, and half the questions are, what should I take with this and what cycle? I'm thinking, is that all you people fucking talk about?
Yeah,
It's fucking
I noticed
drugs.
that. That's funny.
That's what all the questions are for Ask Dave. Like the 90% of them are some sort of drug related, right? Very little when it comes to diet.
And the thing is, it's like we don't know. It's like I could say D-bol and test works great for me, but for you it might not. So it's one of those individual things where you're going to have to try the steroids yourself. No one can give you an exact program and go, this is the one that's going to make you super big, because, you know, people react different to different steroids. So it's really just trial and error. And just like I said, do it smart, don't abuse it. But people think by knowing what cycle did you take? What was Ronnie on? What's like, who cares what they're on? What they took ain't going to be the same for you. So what difference does it make? But everyone's just so obsessed by steroids. I'm like, fucking get over it. It's like,
no, that's just, there's a baseline that's really being set these days, I feel, where if you've never done it before, this is where you typically start. You know, start with somewhere between 250 and 500, see how you react. Doing your first baseline will tell you what it is that you will need moving forward, you know? And then you have to be able to make sure that you're doing it properly when it comes to, you know, coming off and actually being off, not doing, you know, a cruise or anything. It's people really do overcomplicate it these days.
Yeah, and that's what I used to do it when I first started. Like at 19, I used Deca for the first time for 8 weeks and put on 20 pounds. Excuse me. After that, I did Dianabol by itself. And that's why I tell people each time I did like Deca by itself, Dianabol by itself. Then another time I did 8 weeks on Cypionate by itself. That way I knew what drug and how it affected me, because you get guys now, their first cycle, they could be taking Tren, Cypionate, something else, and something else.
Their
like,
first cycle, yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, it's working good. I'm like, you're taking 4 different drugs. How do you know which one's working or not? You might only need 2 of them. The other 2 are probably doing fuck all. This way, if I take one at a time, then you know how it affects your body. So if you do go to combine them, at least you're combining the ones you know work with you the best. So
it's funny, Mark. Lee Priest talking drugs with the 2 natural guys, man. You won't find many fucking podcasts with that. That's fucking funny.
What people do that. They take all these drugs. They're like, oh, yeah, I can feel it working. I'm like, how do you know that it's working? You're on 6 different things.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No, it's true. It's true. Way overcomplicated these days and glorified. Man, it's crazy just going through Instagram and scrolling through the, like, if every second meme isn't something about, you know, glorifying trend, then
I was going to say,
you're not on a bodybuilding page.
The word trend, oh my God. I was like, oh, when did this trend become such a, and what I don't understand is I watch some of these people on podcasts or young kids. When I take Tren, I don't sleep. I get irritable. I get mad. I do this. I'm thinking, if it makes you feel that shitty, why are you fucking taking it?
Yeah, don't take it.
No, go find another drug.
Yeah, or don't do any. I mean, that could be an option too. People are so reliant on them these days. I mean, I've been training for over 20. I did 2 cycles back. Like the last one I did was 2007. No, it's 2024. Give it time, especially if you're not going to step on stage. Like, take your ego out of it, man. You're not even giving yourself a chance.
Yeah,
you know,
you're just doing it for just to be a gym bro. I mean, what's the point?
I know. And it's weird because some of those ones that are the gym bros, when I've heard their cycles and I tell them, you know, you're taking more than some of the pros. Bullshit. You take more. I'm like, mate, you're taking more than some of the pros I know, but yet they can't.
Yeah, they won't believe it. They won't believe it.
To me, I've always told people, look, if you're going to get into bodybuilding, forget the drugs. Get at least 5 to 7 years, good foundation work. Because I've always said it's like any sport. If you got the genetics for it and you have the makeup for it, because you could get like 4 mates that go to the gym. They all train the same, eat the same. One of them's just going to be like, and everyone's going to be like, he must be on gear. He's growing so good. It's just his genetics. So you got to find out, you know, if you're built for the sport to begin with. But even if you can't put on tons of muscle, just do what you said. Go to the gym, be healthy, have fun. You know, just go and train and enjoy it. But these people now, it's like, I got to be big no matter what. I got to take all these drugs to get big. And like, I've seen it 10 years later, they're still pumping the drugs. They're still no bigger. But it's like, if I get the right cycle, that'll be it. I'm like, mate, no cycle's going to work. It's just
hop on a diet or something like that.
Man, and that's just it. Max out everything else first before you start jumping at the fucking drugs. Nail your diet, nail your sleep, nail your cardio, nail your, especially training. You see guys go and train these days, man. These guys are not training hard.
No.
They're not pushing themselves, and the drugs are not going to push you. It's just like anything else in life. No matter what you're going after, if you can't push yourself, man, nothing is going to do it for you. Nothing.
Yep.
I've been getting up at 4. I started getting up at 4:30 this week, but I'm usually up at 5 just to be able to
5:30 you were
train.
training, not 4:30, I thought.
Yeah, well, I had to go to 4:30 because work was starting early, and not getting training in is not a fucking option. So I got
You
up
were doing
earlier
your
and
back,
needed to
I
do
see.
it.
You got me
What's
up
that?
early just to see you were doing your back. You were doing rows or something like that.
Yeah,
I've still
I
got
was,
I've
and
still
I was
got your
killing
beat
them.
by an hour. My alarm goes off at 3:30.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
For me, if the wife sleeps in, I sleep in. So if she gets up early to go to work, I'll get up. So if she sleeps in, I sleep in too.
But are you
Yeah,
like
okay.
Vito? You're used to getting up at a certain time and training, and you do a certain thing. I'm the same on a weekend if the wife's not working. And I say, okay, because normally I get up at 3:34. I'll get up at 6:30. But then, fuck, it fucks with my mind, because as I get up at 6:30, I'm like, fuck, I would have already been to the gym by now. I would have already trained. It feels like in my mind, I'm playing catch up for the rest of the day. It's like, I would have already had this done. I would have had that done. It's like, I get to the gym at 7. I'm like, I would have been left here an hour ago.
That's just it. Especially when you train in the morning and then you don't, it throws everything. It's not uncommon. I can flip the switch if I have to and do an evening session, right? I can do it, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Especially since I train at home. Makes a way bigger difference. Way bigger. Not having to just drive to the gym and deal with all that shit. None of that. It's great. I'm actually working on a couple of new pieces for the gym now. I'm going to swap out one of my power racks there. I kind of outgrew it. I got to swap that out. I've got a power rack that I'm going to put in with a single cable pull down. And it's also got a couple of different angles when it comes to pull-ups for handles and a landmine attachment. So I can start doing some landmine shit. It's going to be way better that way. I think I can do better with the space that I have.
Yeah. And I always found when I trained at home, whether it's just because there's no distractions, sometimes I go heavy at home, but even the days I didn't go heavy, I still got the best pumps, the best mind muscle connection, because that's all I'm focused on. I'm not focused on watching what the fuck's he doing over there. I've never seen an exercise in my life. Even though I know it shouldn't bother me, I just look at these people going, what the fuck are you doing? It's like,
oh man, I know.
Some of them will always get your eye, no matter what. So there'll be over there.
Yeah. It's good for my boy too, right?
But even then I get annoyed. Look, I understand girls can wear what they want, but some of these gyms I go to now, I went to the World Gym, the new one, they wear short shorts already, but they're pulling the short shorts up even higher, and the bra tops are getting smaller. I'm like, that's the fucking gym here. You're not at home. It's like you're wearing underwear, and then you get annoyed if someone looks at you. And before it used to be black, now they're wearing all these light yellow, pastel greens, and you can see their shaving rash on the fucking vagina. It's that fucking see-through. And I'm thinking, Jesus, put clothes on.
Yeah, it's just becoming less and less. Yeah, Xavier's here.
Definitely.
Xavier, did you train today?
Oh, it's 10:30. I haven't. I've only been out of bed for about 2.5 hours, so I had a rough night's sleep.
You're 5 hours late on training, then, man.
I know. I'm normally up like 5 these days, 4 or some random time. So yeah, well, I was up at that time, but then back to bed. So
just discussing my post-workout meal.
Oh, beautiful! What Krispy Kreme you got?
These are the
it's what kind he doesn't have is more accurate.
Edition. But you know the shitty thing is here, like donuts, like 4 donuts like this is $15.
4 for 15.
So crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Your guys' money, like Canadian money, probably close to being.
Probably, yeah. I think at the moment our dollars like probably 64 cents to the American dollar or something.
Yeah, I think we're 91 or 92 to the Canadian. It's like, it's pretty close.
Yeah. No, I was saying before you jumped on, I got to kind of eat it here coming up at Christmas time. We're going to the States where it's like 30 cents to the dollar or something like that. So it is what it is.
Nothing worse than you go to exchange your money before you leave. You've already lost like $1,000. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember once
I know.
I exchanged for money and I timed it so badly and the dollar moved like 7 cents or something. And I was like, what? I'm like, I could have had an extra however many hundreds of dollars US if I exchanged it later. I'm like, that sucks. But yeah.
Oh man, especially once you start getting into international investments, right? And you're looking at an American account first and a Canadian, it's just like, okay, this is good. And then I look over at Canada and I'm like, oh, this is bad. And now with Trump, you don't know what the fuck is going to happen, right?
Well, the worst thing
We'll
is too,
see.
you go to buy shit on eBay, you're like, oh, that looks cheap. That's American dollars. And then underneath in the small print, Australia, it'd be like 300 American, Australian, 786 plus 400 shipping. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, never mind.
Oh man. No, to try and get probably, I wouldn't even imagine what it is to try and get something over the border, like something off of Species Nutrition. I've never tried, right? Because I know that I'm just going to get killed when it comes to shipping over the border. It happened to me when I was getting stuff from a guy in Louisiana. They wanted $120 at the border. Buddy was like, this is what the cost is for like the retail value of this shit.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, I don't want to get caught in that stuff.
Well, I've seen that before. Guys will buy stuff from overseas. Here, they might buy a big tub of protein because they don't sell it in Australia. The protein's $70, but shipping is like $120. I'm like, what? Shipping's more than the fucking.
Well,
no, it's
when Fouad sent me a whole when I was sponsored by Hostile and Fouad sent me a ton of t-shirts, it was in a box, not that big, like like this sort of, a box of maybe like just say like 15 t-shirts. He sent that and he's like, dude, shipping was really expensive. I got it. And he was not lying. It said $251 shipping from Canada. And I was like, or it was something like that, or 190. It was like, no, it was over 200. I know it was over 200. And I was just like, oh, I'm like, dude, you weren't joking. Like, I'm like,
did Fouad make you pay for the shipping?
No, he paid for it. So,
okay.
Well, that's not bad.
My alternator for the Humvee had to get a big truck alternator. It weighed like 18 pounds. It cost me just under 800 in shipping because the only place that would ship it is DHL Express. Getting the shipped express was even more. It was $800 just for the shipping.
Yeah, it's crazy to get anything into Australia. Like, I know there's that import tax, so you buy anything over $1,000, you pay import taxes, and they're normally expensive.
They never used to do that. Now they slug us with that. They never used to do it, but I bet the government doesn't pay import tax when they bring shit in when they're buying their overseas wine and cars. They tell us to buy Australian, but
when I started,
Lee, didn't I see
a bit of? Sorry, you Kenston.
Well, Lee, I saw you posted something about how the Australian government was going to charge you for not voting or suspend your license potentially. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I got my letter the other day because they had like a local or around here they had voting on, and I'm like, I'm not going to vote. Fuck it, because all of them are dickheads. And then if I do, you can go get your name marked off and don't vote as long as you get your name marked off. But then your vote goes to whoever's in anyway. So I'm just like, I'm not even going to fucking go. So my wife and I didn't go. We get the thing yesterday. Why didn't you vote? Different reasons. Do you want to go to court about it? If you don't want to go to court, that's a $55 fine. If you don't pay the fine, they suspend your license so you can't drive. I said, don't we live in a fucking democracy here where it's like if I don't vote, I get fined and lose my license?
That's crazy.
Come on, man.
Lee,
that's nuts.
Lee, I commented under that because when I lived in Perth, I didn't know where I was going to be registered to vote because I know that I hadn't changed it, but I know I changed my license. So I'm like, I'm assuming it will just follow me with my license. It didn't because well, actually it might have, but I didn't go and vote. I was like, I'll just take the fine. Someone said it was $29 or $39 at the time. I was like, whatever, I'll just get a fine. I didn't get any fine. I was like, oh, sweet, got away with it. And then I was driving and I got pulled over, just a random, breath test. And I was doing drug tests too. They did a drug test on me, probably because the car I was driving at the time. So I'm waiting. They come back and they're like, is there any reason why you're driving on a suspended license? And I was like, well, I didn't know, but I was like, and they're like, they came back again. They're like, why didn't you vote? And I was like, oh, and I just said, I didn't know where I was enrolled and I thought I'd just take the fine. And she said, oh, well, your license is suspended because of that. And then they're like, well, you have to pay this in front of us, $179. And then I was trying to pay it in front of them, but their website wasn't working. So it was going on for like ages. I'm like, I'm like, I need to get home. I'm like, I'm literally 1 kilometer away. They did up a whole thing for me so I could drive that 1 kilometer with a suspended license. But it was just madness. And as soon as I got home, I paid it because I was like, well, I don't want any more drama. But it's just ridiculous. Like, but but they do it like that here.
Wow.
Well, they probably think that's going to get more people to vote. It's going to discourage people from voting. You know, that's not going to make you want to do it anymore. That just has more distaste for the government. That's ridiculous, man.
Imagine if they tried that in America. If they find people for not voting in America,
it'd be civil war, man. It would be civil. There's no possible way Americans would deal with that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What
That's
I've
one
realized,
thing about America.
what I've realized lately as well with Australia, it's made me realize how obedient we all are. You know what I mean? Here, it's like we're all so falling into line, and then you talk to people who would have no political idea whatsoever, and it's like, wow, like it's. I feel like it's even worse in America, and because everyone's forced to vote, you got more people who have no idea on actual anything political, just going and voting for whoever.
You see that story?
Virtue
Did you
signals.
see that story here today? It was just on the news, or you just got up. You mightn't have seen it yet. That woman, I'm not sure it's in Western Australia, or she's been in jail for I think she got 18 years because she killed a friend of hers, stabbed her to death or something or whatever. So she's been in jail for almost 10 years. She's got at least 6 to go before she can even think about parole. But the government and the prison board has agreed to let her out to get IVF treatment to get pregnant. And then when she gets pregnant, she's allowed to raise the baby in the prison for 5 years or so. I'm just like, what? She's in there for murder. You're letting her out to get
serious?
IVF. Yeah.
I'm going to make a video on that or something. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting so triggered by all the stuff in Australia.
Yeah, people are calling into the radio station about going, how can they even let her get out? Because in the prison, they have a section for families and that. So now she's going to be moved to that section. And the parents of the murdered girl are just outraged. They're like, how should she have the right to bring a baby into the world? And some activist group goes, well, this is really good because she took a life. Now she's bringing new life back into the world. I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, with some good genetics too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, she's definitely got the evil gene.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got hereditary and environment working against you there. Like, that's
imagine,
a lose-lose.
Imagine raising a kid in prison for the first 5 years of its life. The kid will be like,
oh
I
God,
just don't.
So backwards.
Holy shit, man. Yeah, the world is fucked. Did you guys
And
happen
that's
to
where I
see
was,
the
Western Australia, Perth. So that's the sort of treatment you get in Western Australia.
where are you now?
Tasmania.
Tasmania. Right. Yeah. Gotcha. Wait, what do you?
And I told you before, think of Tasmania like the Deliverance movie.
Xavier, are you eating something?
I can't be offended. Yeah, sorry, man. I am.
No.
I was discussing this, wasn't I? How bodybuilders eat on podcast.
Yep.
I'm trying to do it discreetly though, because I don't like it either.
There's no.
Head down like
what do you
this,
mean, fucking just sit? What do you mean discreetly, dude? There's no discreetly on this. Like, I think somebody's looking.
This would not be discreetly.
What do you got there?
Oh, I'm finishing it up. We've got some eggs there. We've got some meatballs. It looks disgusting now. We've got some. The red stuff is tomato paste and sesame seeds.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
No, that's good. That's good, man. No, we just checked off a box for a typical bodybuilding podcast. Somebody's eating, and somebody asked you about what you're eating, and you told me exactly what it was. There.
Yeah.
Now we can end the show.
There has to be someone.
Was Kenza going to ask
time.
about the Fouad video? Were you? Was that where you were going?
That was the next thing. Yeah. You guys all saw that, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I don't get is it's like, what type of man? Look, this has been going on with this guy for a long time, and the way he goes around there. First, it's a bitch move. You're going around and you got your mate recording it to begin with. It's like if you're going to go settle a score, you don't have a fucking camera on. Go around and punch on and do whatever and settle it. But they have the camera going and you go onto his property, and then he keeps saying, "I was only going there to talk." You've been saying shit about him and his wife for how many years? Writing these emails saying they're from her dead brother or something, and then the shit you're talking, you go into the guy's house, you really think you're going around there for a peaceful cup of tea to fucking talk? Come on, you knew there's going to be a clash and shit, so, he should have actually got more than what he fucking got.
Exactly. And I see the way Fouad, how he handled it was pretty perfect, because the thing is, if a guy's going at you and if he's the one sending those emails while he might not have admitted to it or whatever, I mean, allegedly he sent them, they're disgusting emails. Like that would trigger anyone who has a wife that gives a shit about them. So Fouad, he stood his ground. I thought he did the right thing, and good on him for tearing the guy's tricep, to be honest.
Who was he on? That Mish guy, the guy that was doing the emails. What podcast was he on? He was talking about them, and he was talking bad about Fouad's wife, and that wasn't on.
I didn't
Discord,
even watch
was it? There was a thing he was on,
maybe,
and he just rubbished. He just rubbished Fouad.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think he was on John Livia's podcast at one point, as well as Muscle Discord. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was I can't even keep up these. That, like, it's funny. This is part of my job, is keeping up with the news, and I can't even keep up with the amount of shit that's been going on these days, right? The first round of it with Mish was something else about Fouad. I don't know. Xavier, don't try to hide it, man. We know what you're doing. Don't bother.
There goes the meatball.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah,
but this round was pretty ridiculous.
Unmuted.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I tell you, I wasn't expecting Fouad to walk out with a baseball bat, though. I was like, this guy is not fucking around. And you know what? I think rightfully so. Man.
Yeah.
If somebody's going
to on his property, I'm surprised. Even if he didn't hit that guy. Oh, Xavier's ready. Don't come around to Xavier. I'm surprised though. I pictured when Fouad got close to his truck and he's talking shit. I would have taken a few of the fucking headlights out of the truck with the baseball bat. Oh, that's even better. Look at that. Bit of lead poisoning.
me and Fouad have bats, and Mark's like, I've got a bullet. So chill.
Just a bullet, though. I'll start flinging the end of it like that. Get out of here.
Pew, pew, pew. Yeah.
Let's put it in a slingshot.
Oh, it's good.
No, it really is insanity, though. Like, for someone to somebody rolled up on my house like that, I would be no less, like, I would have no less of a reaction than what he did. I mean, I don't care if there was some sort of talk of, yeah, you should come over or whatever. Obviously, he didn't say that with sincerity to sit down over a cup of tea, you know? And obviously, he didn't really want him to be there. I would have did the same thing.
To show up, like I said, to show up and have the video going, come on, you're looking for the same. It's almost like when the idiot walked over to Mike and with the camera going, you know, you're going to get drama. You don't like each other. So you got the camera rolling for a reason to fucking film it. It's like when people try and instigate shit with cops or something. Their mates filming it to get their reaction. It's like, come on. It's like, be a man, turn the camera off. And then the cameraman, what was he saying? Well, if I put this camera down, I'll come and just like, well, put the camera down, you fucking
put it down.
Come do it.
Let's go. You know?
If I put this down, I can
put it
down. Oh, but if I put it down, I can't put it down.
Yeah, I get you.
It's the ridiculousness of the situation too, right? Go ahead, Xavier. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I think, like, obviously, like, he's going there. It's so obvious what he's trying to do. And then when Fouad just goes like that, because he got up in his face sort of thing, and plus obviously everything that's happened prior to that, I think most people would have done the same or worse or whatever. And the thing is, he gets back in his car and he's going, "Oh, do you see that? Oh, he hit me. Oh, yeah.
I said to his mate, yeah, he goes, you better drive. My head hurts." I'm thinking, oh, come on, my head hurts.
That was light.
Let's go.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Mike Van Wick's
man.
on
like,
Jeff Nippard was harder than that.
I know. Definitely. And that's the thing too. It's like they're going, then they're saying Fouad, some of the channels, I think Greg Doucette was like, throat punches that Mish guy. No wonder he likes Mike Van Wick to throat punch people. And it's like, the thing is though, it's like, yes, Fouad threw the first thing, but it's like, I'm sorry, you're on Fouad's property. You're up in his face. He could say, hey, I feared for my life. I didn't use the bat. I just pushed him back because he come into my space on my property. You got every right to.
Yeah.
Hands behind his back. That's such a stupid maneuver.
I know.
You think you're safe because you do that? Welcome to real life, buddy.
Exactly.
Clowns.
Yeah, and buddy backed up pretty quick. He backed up pretty quick. I don't know, man. It's not just the fact that it happened. It's some of the coverage of it out there these days too. It seems like when these things happen, everybody's pretty quick to have that knee-jerk reaction of, jumping at Fouad. I think people like to jump at Fouad because he's so successful, man. I mean, regardless of what you might like, regardless of how he handles his business, I mean, it's his business to handle as far as I've always been concerned, right? Yeah. If you don't want to do business with him, don't do business with him. Do business with somebody else. He's obviously doing something right, but that's what it is the guy's so successful. It's the age old it's the age old adage, when you start making money, somebody's going to want to come at you, and this is exactly what's happening. I mean, although it looked like Mish was driving a Hummer or some shit. He didn't look he was hurting either.
Yeah, that's the funny thing too. It's like you can have all these friends when you're not successful, but when you become successful, even some of your friends start hating on you when you start doing well and making money. It's like, at least Ken's, if you've got a good job, if he come around and you sort of give him one, at least when you go diving, you've got plenty of places to hide the bodies.
Lots.
Be a couple.
Oh,
I'm going to take you down and weld you into a pipe somewhere under the ocean.
they'd never find that for years.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to go visit Kenson in Canada.
No, you're safe here. You're good. You're fine.
You're safe. You can stay in the basement.
Chained.
I had a guy that used to there was a guy that used to work for me. He used to say, divers can really get rid of any body. And he would tell me how he would do it. And I was just like, I'm going to watch out for you. And I think you're getting a raise soon as well. He doesn't work for me anymore.
I used to always sit there thinking that even if you had a guy like that issue you don't like and he's an asshole, they go, let's mend the bridges. Let's all go out. Let's go out on a fishing trip. Let's go out deep sea fishing. And we're all drinking and stuff. And only you and him are still awake and he's really pissed and everyone else is asleep. Look, over the side you go, where's Mish? Where's Mish? It's like, how easy just to push someone over the side and be like, hey.
I don't know what happened to Mish. Yeah.
Deep sea fishing. Fouad doesn't strike me as a deep sea fishing guy. I've heard him been into a lot of shit. I don't think you'd get a guy like Fouad out deep sea fishing. Maybe.
I have a feeling Fouad would tear a muscle. I don't know why. I just feel like he'd get onto a big fish and he'd tear his bicep or something for some reason. Yeah.
You know what I find funny? When you do go deep sea fishing, the funniest thing ever, when I used to go out, you're a couple miles out, you can't see land, and you're on the boat and some people go and they cast down. I'm like, how much further do you fucking want to go? Just drop your line over the side. It's like, what are you casting for? It's like, what?
Yeah. Let's get out deeper. That's funny.
No, man.
I've gone deep sea. Well, not deep sea, like off the peninsula in Tasmania, off Eagle Hawk Neck, where they fish for tuna. And we got onto one once, and it was, I don't know how big it would have been, because we got into some like 30 kilo, which is like 65 pound or whatever tunas. Yeah. And then the one I got onto, it was the last time I said, oh, do you want to take it? Because I was letting the younger kids have a go at the smaller ones and stuff first. And I was like, oh, yeah, all right. I was on that thing for like an hour and a half. So I was sweating. I didn't have one of the things. So they're like, yeah, this is a big one. And then the guy who had the boat, he got out a gun. And then he goes, because there's all these seals chasing it around. So they're like, oh, the seal's going to end up eating the bloody huge tuna. And we couldn't see it. We just saw like a tiny bit of color, like in the distance once. And he pulls out the gun. He says, do you mind? As if I'll shoot the seals to get this tuna. And I was like, I was a young kid. I'm like, I guess not. Or I was like 20 or 19 or something. And then, eventually the rod snapped after like over 2 hours on this thing. But it's like maybe 80 meters deep or something. So pretty deep, but I don't know how deep it gets. Like way out would get super deep, I guess. But I've never been super deep like that.
I went fishing once in the Derwent River with my uncle, because I used to live in Tasmania, and that
you can literally see it right there.
we went trout fishing, and my God, there was that many trout. We didn't use fishing line. We almost used like a nylon cord with just hooks on it. You could drop it over the side. In a second, you'd have 4 trout every time. It's just like, normally fishing's relaxing and fun. You just wait for a couple of bites. Oh, I missed it. I didn't get it. It actually got that fucking boring because we're just pulling up fucking fish every time you drop the rope over.
It used to be unbelievable here. We used to go fishing what's called the Channel, which is basically sort of near the Derwent River, but sort of the other way, just around about the other side. And we'd go out and we'd catch our limit in Flathead so quickly. And then we went with it was a cousin of my partner, and he was really young and he forgot to put bait back on the hook. So he just had this silver hook and he's throwing that down and he's pulling fish on just the hook. So they would see the silver and these and I was chasing it up too. It was unbelievable. So we'd get, the limit was 30 back then, Flathead per person, I think it was. So, or maybe it was 20, but we'd catch like 60, come back in 2 hours. It was so quick. And then a few squid and whatever, and just get home, fill them up, and you got so much.
The fun is relaxing, when you get a few bites, you try and get it, and oh fuck, it took my bait, I'll try again. But down there, I said, this is just ridiculous. Every time you go over, you're pulling fish in.
Yeah, the limit's like 2 now. They've put it from like 30 to down to 2 because it got overfished.
20's a lot. Our limit's like probably 6 or something like that here. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something like that. See, I go the other way. We go diving for scallops is usually what we do, right? And you're allowed to get 100 scallops per day per license holder of a certain size. Yeah, but we go to places where, scallop dragging is a big thing around here, unfortunately. It completely destroys the fucking bottom. It's one of the worst things that you could possibly do when it comes to fishing. Just these big steel fucking nets that they drag along the bottom, right? It's fucking terrible. But there's certain places within like rock formations and stuff that they can't get to. So the scallops are massive. So we'll go and we'll get them. And like I said, for the 100 per day per license holder, you go a few days in a row and you've got enough that you can stock up for the winter. That's usually what my father does before he goes to Florida is he'll get enough and then he can take them down there. And he'll usually have enough. Actually, he should have some for Christmas this year. So it'll be scallop and gators for Christmas dinner. That's going to be good.
That's cool.
I fucking go diving and for lobsters. This is when you could, but now I think it's illegal now to dive for lobsters and those type of thing on tanks and stuff. But when you could, you'd go up to Nelson Bay up here where I live, and you get those big like spider lobsters. Now that fucking big, it showed me photos. He'd just get one and he'd put it near him and the thing would just wrap around him and just stay there, and he'd just be spearfishing with the lobster there and come up and put the lobster in the boat.
That's crazy.
Man, you can't do that here either. Diving for lobster here? No. You'll lose. You'll be fined. You'll lose like everything. You'll lose all your dive gear, the vehicle that you used to get to the dive site, the house that you kept your dive gear in. You'll look like it'll be gone, man. Absolutely not even an option around here. No way.
Yeah, wow. In New South Wales, I didn't realize you had to have a fishing license to fish at all. Like you can't just go.
I just say, come along. Just what gets me is if you got no idea on you, how can they prove it? But if they do come and ask, I just say I'm from Wobbickle Drive because if you're Aboriginal, you don't have to have a license. So I just say
right. I did see that online.
If you're native here, you don't have to have a hunting license or a fishing license.
No, you're allowed to make a moderate livelihood here if you're Indigenous, yeah.
But it's pretty hard to get your status nowadays.
Yeah.
Is it? I really don't know.
It's not here. It's not here.
Yeah, in Australia, as long as you're not ripping off the government saying you're Aboriginal to get benefit money-wise, anything else you can just claim you're Aboriginal, and by law they can't ask you to prove it. So you can just say you're Aboriginal.
Well, my cousins, they have the tiniest amount of Aboriginal blood in them. Like you would not know. They look exactly like me. And their schooling, all paid for. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands. And I mean, if it was offered to me, I'd be like, I guess.
Yeah.
Pay for my school.
One of my ex-wives.
That's just it.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't take the deal?
One of my ex-wives, she had 3 kids that were part Aboriginal, and I'd see the benefits. 1 week, $800 a week, $700 the next week. And then like schooling and everything else, the medical, dental, all the benefits I would get. But the principal at one of the schools got fired because the schools get allocated so much funding for Aboriginal studies or just culture.
They just calling kids Aboriginal, are they?
Yeah, but the thing was, the woman at the school was pocketing all the money, so there's no like Aboriginal studies or tours or anything like that. So she ended up getting fired. Well, here in Australia, I think the Aboriginal population is just under 3%. So I think it's only like a couple of 100,000, but they've still got shitty schools, medical. Like, I mean, in the outback, we have like Xavier said, so-called Aboriginals that have 2% blood in them. They're the ones that cause all the problems, wanting the money, the benefits and stuff. The true Aboriginals can give a shit. They're happy where they are, but they lose out because the so-called city ones, the government gives Aboriginals $30 billion every year to go to whatever they need, and the money's not getting to them. There's an Aboriginal senator, I forget her name, not that Lydia Thorpe who just got kicked out, but there's another one.
God.
Yeah. But there's another one who's really good, and she said, I want to do an audit to see where all this money's going because it's not getting to the places out the outback that need it. And the government voted no on doing the audit because they would have found out everyone's got their fingers in the pie trying to.
Interesting.
Oh, it's the same as everything that's going on. Like because in Australia right now, it's pretty. I'd say it's pretty crazy in terms of politics. I'd say because like it's the last day today of like the federal, like where they sit in Canberra and stuff, whatever they call it.
Children
and they're like the things that they're doing. Like this is the thing that annoys me the most is they're banning social media. They've passed a bill to ban social media for under 16-year-olds. And then someone brought up the great point. There's so many drawbacks to it that they just haven't even thought about. But someone brought up the great point that, well, YouTube's covered in this. So literally YouTube is covered in this. So under 16-year-olds, you can't have a YouTube account in Australia. So they said, what about Pornhub? And they said, oh, well, we said, like, it basically pointed out that it's a video service where you can comment on it as well. Kids will find a way to communicate online. That's the main thing. So forums will be back. This stuff will be back, stuff that's less regulated than social media, which is more, you can see it a lot easier.
Least personals will be back.
Yeah, and then it gives an excuse to pedos, basically, that, hey, they said they were 17, they said they were 18, whatever, they said they were of age, and that's the thing. So because kids will find a way around it. They weren't meant to social media.
How are they going to police it too? Because you go to a Pornhub site. So I've heard. I don't go there, but I've heard. But when you go to those sites that ask, "Are you 18?" You just go, "Yes." It's like you click yes or no. It's like, well, how hard is it?
What they're saying is, so this is the other thing that's annoying is and they've almost given the kids a way to get around it as well. So they're saying if you've had a Facebook or Instagram account, what they're going to try to work with the social media platforms is to, if you've got lots of photos in Sydney, if you've tagged in Sydney and stuff a lot, then we'll know you're in Australia and we know your age from being on there before or whatever. And then you'll have to submit some sort of an ID or your driver's license or something. So they can just track all of us because I'm Australian. So how am I going to access it? How are they going to know that I'm over 16 or older? I have to submit some sort of ID or whatever when I log on. Fuck that. So yeah, I hope that Australians get outraged enough to stop this because it's just another form of like really hardcore control. But
and then they reckon they're going to fine, and they didn't. The Prime Minister he's saying,
we're going to fine them 30 million.
Yeah. It's like Instagram and all those things. Twitter, I mean X now. They'll take them to court. They're not going to win that case. They'll be like, come on.
I hope Elon destroys them. I hope he destroys them. Yeah. It's just Australia is like it's like Trump won. And now we're doubling down on the other side. It's like, and both parties, both major parties say, yes, ban this and yes, this. And it's like, what's happening? It's like, why are they both like going that way? And then you've got Pauline Hanson, who's really the one who will stand up and be, the Libertarian Party
that woman,
and that sort of stuff.
Well, like I said, Pauline Hanson, she's one of those. She came out years ago and said, Chinese people are going to come here and buy up all the land. This was back in the 90s, maybe. Everyone called her racist. You're being racist. Next thing.
She called racist yesterday.
Yeah. And she told that one lady, she's from, who's that one where she said, all she said was, if you're not happy here, I think she's from Iran or one of those countries. And she's in Parliament, but she hates Australia. She calls us racist. She
the Pakistan one that Pauline Hanson said to piss off back to Pakistan?
Yeah. She goes, if you're not happy here, just piss off back to Pakistan. She actually had to pay a fine and apologise because they said that comment was racist. And then yesterday, that other young girl in Parliament was yelling at her, and that Lydia Thorpe, the Aboriginal one, who her father's from Midland, threw papers at her. And when the King was out here last month, she's yelling and screaming and throwing shit at the King. You're not my King. But yet you stood up and swore allegiance to the monarchy when you had to become a senator, and she's getting paid hundreds.
Yes.
Didn't she say she changed one word or something? Didn't she?
Oh, some bullshit. She's so full of herself. It's like that Jackie Lambie from down in Tasmania.
Oh my God.
She's sometimes I actually agree with the thing that she's standing for, which is she's against this, under 16 thing and stuff. So good on her for that. But she is so far off her head and she just screams. That's all she does. I'm like, it's really weird. I don't know. But Australian politics is so off its head.
Jackie Lambie woman, when you talk about it, she's a politician. She's a senator. But she was doing an interview once. She goes, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind a young man that's well hung and all this sort of stuff."
Yeah. If a guy said that, imagine they would never, ever be in politics again. Ever.
Imagine if you said, "I want a cute girl with big titties." You'd be fucking out the door.
I do want a cute girl with big titties.
Yeah, me too. I got one.
Oh, nice. I don't have anyone.
I have to say that she's home.
Okay.
No wonder there's no bodybuilders left in Australia. Australia is fucked right now. Holy fuck.
Guys are gonna have to move to Canada.
Which is
I know
sad.
about Canada.
Hey, Canada's killing it for bodybuilders right now, man. We just got back Regan Grimes. He's back on Team Canada.
That's true, but you're getting all the Americans. You're getting all the Americans that are leaving.
Hassan Mustafa.
Yeah, Hassan's here too. Yeah.
He nails it.
Man.
Canada has the entire YouTube game. Like, literally, think about it. Fouad Abiad, Greg Doucette, Regan Grimes, Antoine Valiant, Ian Valier, Chris Bumstead. Like, you can go. Jeff
Robin Strand and Morgan McDonald at the
Robin
Canadian
Strand.
Beef Podcast.
The
boys over at
Muscle Discord's Canadian. EP09.
You guys.
EP09.
Think Big Bodybuilding Media, the Mutant Boys over there. Man,
yeah.
We are killing it.
Joe Weeders from Canada.
Is Brandon Harding goes to Canada. Oh, yeah, Joe Weeder.
Joe Weeder.
Yeah, Jeff. Well, I mean, we're getting a bit far now, but yeah, Jeff Nippard, yeah.
Shout out to Insulin.
He's got like 5 million followers.
What happened to
Jeff Nippard? Growth hormone from Australia.
What happened to Jeff Nippard? Like after that, what happened to that whole case where Mike was charged and had he just gone totally quiet on the thing? Is it all just?
I don't know.
Oh, nothing happened. He was fine.
Everybody just dropped it. Nobody talked about it.
Was there a charge, or was it more like he just dropped it?
No,
I don't know.
There was literally there was nothing else said about it whatsoever after the fact. Nothing. There was nothing said about within 4 days.
It's gone.
Nothing said about Mike. Nothing said about Jeff and his injuries. Zero. Nothing.
Yeah.
You mean he didn't have internal damage like he said he was going to the hospital for? Are you saying he didn't have any internal bleeding from that push?
I think if Jeff just handled that, if he just said, look what happened. Look, I went up to him. I was going to have a conversation, but yeah, I probably shouldn't have. Didn't think about it. If he just came out and said that and said, look, but Mike flipped out about literally what I said about him, he would have come out as looking so good. Like, hey, look, I didn't do shit, but whatever, But then I suppose, the photo at the hospital and stuff like that, and then the fact that I don't think anyone thought that he's actually injured after that. Does anyone he got up and was fine? No, if you hit him in the throat, I've been punched in the face and then not gone to hospital. When you're out, it's you don't. It's I think that maybe it was, and I understand, but he was like, oh, I'll go the right way about it and sue. But I think it just made it.
Anytime I see a camera recording, you've lost all respect because I know you're doing it for the views, you're doing it for the attention. If you're going to fight a guy, you don't say shit, you don't record shit, you just go and punch on and whatever happens. Well, it used to be that way here in Australia. You'd punch on, whoever wins, and you go buy the other guy a drink and it's over and done with. That's
not how it's like anymore, unfortunately. I even think back to when, going to a gym back in the day. I used to go to Extreme Physique when I was 15, 16 years old, and you go to that gym and you respect everyone. You respect Sean and Wayne. You respect all the bodybuilders there. I remember asking one of the amateur bodybuilders, I'm like, are you this bodybuilder? And I was you actually, people showed respect. But I feel now, the 16-year-old going into a gym like that, they still think they can be king shit. You know what I mean? And they can be whatever. And yeah.
I used to say that because I'd go into a new gym sometimes. I used to say when I was young, you go into a gym, you see a big guy, you'd be like, I wonder how he got big. You try and ask him a question or You just be in awe of this guy. Think, okay, he's doing that. Let me go over here and try to do the same thing and see if I can get big. But then, like, I go into other places, I see people look over. You can just sometimes hear, oh fuck Lee Priest, fuck him. I'm thinking, I'm just here to train. It's like, what's the fucking problem? But yet, it's like, you're here to train. You want to be a bodybuilder. I'm already there. So why are you hating for me? Why are you hating on me for being what you want to get to or being what you want to do? It's like, I don't get that. It's almost like you're hating on me for being
a negative
something.
reflection of themselves.
Yeah, it's like you want to be what I am, but you're hating on me for fucking being one already. It's like stupid.
Yeah.
Will Tennyson, also Canadian. Had to put that one in there.
Do you know Will Tennyson?
Do I know Will Tennyson? Yeah, very. No, I don't fucking know Will Tennyson. No.
No, I know. I don't mean you kids. I mean Lee and Mark. Do you know Will Tennyson?
No.
That dude.
Oh, really?
He gets
Will Tennyson's
many views.
awesome.
There's a lot of people I don't know. I didn't
Unbelievable.
even know
But like this guy has
working with Fouad.
What's he talk about?
This guy has millions of subs.
What's
he does like he'll do. I visited the richest gym in the world, and he'll go in there and do workouts, get put through a workout. And he'll do. I followed the Rock's bulking plan for X amount of weeks. Here's what happened, or whatever. But he doesn't. He makes it very interesting.
Priest, you need to do the Lee Priest bulking plan. Fuck the Rock. Come on.
You should.
He
should contact him. Yeah, I did Lee Priest.
Yeah,
like he'll do something like I followed Lee Priest's arm workout for whatever. I don't know. Like he'll do something like that.
I think he did Rich Piana's 8-hour arm workout once. Yeah, but he's funny. Like he's fucking hilarious, man. Yeah. He does a really good job.
Dry good humor. Yeah. He's so quick. Successful. Like so successful on his channel. Because I even do the numbers, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. When you do look at YouTube, isn't it funny? Because to me, like Dave and RX, he's been around probably the longest out of everyone, and I think he's got like 300,000, 400,000. But you think for the amount of time he's been around, he'd be over 1 million subscribers. It's funny what people go to, because then you could have someone like the Trend Twins, just the name. When I first heard the name, I'm like, what a stupid name. I like watching it and they're entertaining. But I'm thinking when it first came out, I'm like, why the fuck would you call it the Trend Twins? Just that name alone. But you look at the followers, I'm thinking Dave should be up in the millions by now. It's weird what people go to and watch and listen to, you know. I notice a lot of things that are drug related, but people can't get enough of that for some reason. I'm just like, how fucking boring, just drug talk all the time.
Yeah, Dave's got 323. Yeah, Dave's at 323,000. But you're seeing that from a lot of YouTubers. Like it seems like once they get to a certain level, that's where the subs seem to stay. Dave's at about 323,000. NSP, Nick Strength and Power, he's been at 1.37 million for I don't even know how long.
Yeah, I know
forever.
He had 1 million. Him and Greg Doucette had 1 million at almost the exact same, and now Greg's like 3. I don't know, something like that.
He's getting more close. Yeah,
way more than that.
Same thing with Fouad too. Like he's like 317 odd thousand. I can't remember exactly, but like his kind of topped out where it is right now as well. Mm-hmm. So there's certain channels they get to a certain point, and it's just like that. Like that's where it is.
Just slower.
Well, I suppose the audience is only so big, you know. Like it's only going to be so big, so you only have so much of a cap inside the hardcore bodybuilding scene, and then you got it like Nick Strength. Yeah, and Nick Strength and Power gets a bit more of like the outside fan that can sort of just tap into it a little bit, and then they might just move away from it, you know. So, and people unsubscribe too, so they get out of bodybuilding.
Yep.
I'm going to do it. I should start using my channel, which I don't. I always forget I got it and I barely use it. Some days I'm like, I'm going to go live, and I'm like, no, I can't be bothered. I'm doing a podcast tomorrow. I'll just talk on there. But I'm thinking I'm just going to do a podcast and start doing it weekly, where I just talk about every other station and what they're talking about. That's going to be my whole thing.
Just to mess with people. Like, oh, so what's Kinson doing?
On Fouad's show today, they said this. Then on Dave RX, they said this. I'm just going to have fun with it. Go, what a bunch of wankers talking about that shit.
You can just watch bits and just comment while like the bits that like stick out.
Yeah. I'll do a podcast about podcasts because generally those podcasts are talking about another podcast, so I'll just keep it going.
Well, that's what I do for some of mine. Like I obviously have some of my own original content or find some stuff, but some of it's like that story comes from that. And it's quite funny because obviously I don't rate it when it's just people only. Like it's just always copied content. It's always they add no context to it as well, and there's just nothing. It's just that sometimes is a bit like monotonous, but when someone can actually make it interesting, I'm like, that's good.
Yeah.
That's the way I like to sort
Well,
of
it's like
watch
those
someone do
news.
it.
It was like those news
Yeah.
shows, or even if you had something like Saturday Night Live. If you can take those other casts and then make them entertaining and make it funny by making fun of what they're talking about, then it's entertaining to watch. Like there's a few shows on TV like that where they'll go around and pick out different news programs and just make fun of the news on what they're reporting on. So
yeah, I like that as well. I like that. You could do that with Australian news and politics for days, like actual days. I feel like there's no one that does it that much,
Feel like those two men at the Muppet Show that sit up in the box and just fucking disparage.
Are they the two that go like, bah!
Yeah, like the two old men that would just be so sarcastic about anything that's going on.
Yeah.
Well, Lee, that'll be you if you do your podcast, man. That'd be you.
Exactly. Are you saying that because I'm sarcastic or I'm old or both?
No, sarcastic. You can't say old because you're still huge. Doesn't matter how old you are, as long as you still got the muscle.
I haven't even shaved for a few days. Look at this. I'm going to be like Xavier.
I noticed that straight away, but
you're not supposed to shave. You know what? November, you're not supposed to shave.
No, isn't that the mustache?
I shaved yesterday.
I shaved because mine's getting white. It's getting a little white on there.
That's the thing, because I got like
I've got some
in mine. And the worst thing is, like
your pepper.
I'll be dark here. I have white bits here in the dark bits, and from a distance, it looks like you're missing hair. So I got the mange or something. It looks like a cat.
Yes.
My whole chin looks white.
Yeah.
I think you got to do the Fouad idea. Fouad just adds a little bit of that, like a little bit of that dye to it, like just spark.
I was going to get my her mascara thing, and just lightly touch it with the mascara brush.
I'm not even going to dye mine. I'm just going to let it go.
You will never see me dye my beard or my hair or anything.
No.
I don't give enough of a fuck, man. Like, no fucking, like
you're all in relationships.
Even if I go bald, I got long hair.
I don't care. Well, Xavier might be in a relationship, but I mean, I'm still online. I'm still showing my fucking face to people, right? I just don't care, and I don't have to worry about hair. Like some guys do it because like this is all they have left. I get that, right? I mean, to a point, because I don't think I'll ever lose mine. Like I've never pushed a ton of gear, and my father's like is 61 now, and I like genetically golden. I have no issues, man. That's one thing I can say. Well, I mean, everybody here actually can be in that boat. That's pretty good.
That's the thing. If you go on natural and you never do anything, the day you do one thing, people are going to be like, "What's he done? He looks different. There's something different about him."
I know. Mark was trying to get me on. No, Mark tried to get me to start fucking pumping it to do the next Mark's Max Muscle Invitational. He was like, "Oh man, imagine them arms on the juice, man." He's like, "You should get on it."
Even natural, dude. The competition, my views will go up. And Xavier Wills of Desktop Bodybuilding.
When's the competition?
Not till next
summer.
Year. Next October.
What time though? Next October?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Man. Yeah. Maybe
October's when comps is on, isn't it? You never know. Yeah, but I say maybe, and then I just decide to do it. like when I first competed at that men's physique thing, like I was just doing a transformation to try to win 50K off Aaron Singerman on his challenge. I submitted my photos earlier. I didn't even make the top 10, but I was definitely in the top 10. But I think I submitted them earlier, not through the normal form. I should have been in the top 10. So I think I should have won it, to be honest. I think so. But I mean, I almost won my pro card, and I went from looking like shit 10 weeks earlier. So I felt like it was decent.
So top 10. No wonder you were happy when he went to jail. You're like, fuck you. That's when I get
fuck you, Aaron. Where's my 50K? Didn't even get a prize at all. I shouldn't have submitted them early. I should have just waited. But they made you take a photo of the newspaper. So I said, well, the newspaper isn't going to be the same date. I'm doing mine 2 weeks early. So I did like a 10-week prep, and I'm not holding this for 2 weeks. What's that?
You could what the date on the newspaper? You could fuck with that too.
Oh, anyone could nowadays. Yeah.
Oh yeah, easily.
But it's for topics in the newspaper. That's why it's for newspaper.
Nobody's going to know your Australian topics, man. Nobody's going to have any idea. It's not going to
Trump
make a
wins election.
difference.
Just hold up, just
We're
hold
not
up the
two weeks
personal
late.
page, the personal.
So you got to hold the newspaper up to prove the date.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked my
Holds
participants;
it
they
up
just have to hold up the year.
That's the moon landing on the front.
Yeah, the paper's all yellow. Yeah, just change the date a little bit. Yeah, Australia deports criminals. Yeah, well, that could be any year. No, you guys bring them in. Sorry.
Yeah. Captain Cook lands in Australia. Oh fuck, wrong paper.
Close.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah, there's not many of those competitions that happen anymore that you see really like
Yeah.
money offered for transformation challenges. I wonder why that is.
Wasn't EAS wasn't Bill Phillips one of the first ones to ever do it when he brought EAS out?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he did one back in the day.
Big money, and then I think one of them he gave away a Lamborghini. Remember?
Oh shit!
Yeah,
They're nice
Yeah,
guys.
you
We
don't
gave
see
away
much
something
of
like
them.
$1,000.
out whoever won the Lamborghini, they're like, oh, who's going to be able to afford the insurance on it and all the other shit that comes with it? It was like,
Well,
It's
the
a
only
bill.
one that I know of at all, really, it's not a transformation challenge, but really, Mark, I don't know of any other online competition that exists aside from yours these days. Really, I'm sure there's more, but you're the only one that I can think of.
Do you think part of a reason is because of Photoshop and AI and all the things people can do nowadays?
That's why you got to have a video footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Paul
People
specific
don't want to do
criteria.
videos, you know what I mean?
Champion did get paid, by the way,
Yeah,
Nice.
Trey Hulk did. Yeah, okay.
but it was
We all knew we would.
It was transferred into American funds.
Well, that's fair.
So got like 30% less
It's
than the
a
US
lot
dollar
less.
value.
It's a lot less. It was 500 Canadian, and it equaled out
Yeah.
to 360 American.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blame
No,
Trump. I don't
You
fucking
didn't
know.
specify.
What's
Yeah, blame Trump.
Did blame Trump?
I don't know. Everybody else does. Everybody else does. But no, you would think that some of the bigger supplement companies would be doing it. I mean, you get a lot more engagement. I shouldn't say a lot more engagement, but you definitely would have a different type of engagement, especially since it's one of those things that nobody else is really doing right now. I could see if Chris Bumstead signed off on a transformation challenge, people would definitely be into it.
He's the one
like
who
to
could
see
get people
someone
to
do it.
submit videos and stuff, like, because the average supplement company, it'd be hard to get people to submit videos at the start. Because think about it, if you're out of shape, to submit a video of you doing turns or whatever, most people won't want to do that. Even photos, they're like, oh, like, you know. So I just think that a lot of people wouldn't want to do a video. I think that's the problem. And photos nowadays are a bit.
Chris could be like $50 to enter. You win no money. You just win a weekend to train with Chris Bumstead.
Yes,
people would do it.
Yeah.
People would do it.
It's worth a lot of money,
100%.
Well, I always think that with my Instagram now, it's getting back up, 700,000. I'm thinking, imagine these people. I know it's weird because you get a lot of people that interact, and I think some people just follow and never interact. They just follow because somebody else is following, so you never hear from them. But I'm thinking, even if half of those people just gave $1 a year, wouldn't that be nice just for me to come on here and talk to them? It's like, that'd be like $350,000 a year. Just if everyone just gave $1, half of them gave $1.
I feel like, Lee, you should start, like, you should do your YouTube channel and then start like a Patreon where you do like videos that are off YouTube that you just
I know on Instagram they got that subscription part as well, but I've never used it. It says a subscription area where people can pay, where you put different content on that side of it.
Yeah, you should just do that and just post photos of your feet or something.
Yeah. They're just sitting there.
Paint the nails up nice.
Okay, like what's Lee doing exactly? Okay, guys, today we're going to put nail polish on. Everyone go, what the fuck?
Is the toe separators going between each toe?
Oh, you know them, don't you? Huh? You know them.
No, I'm just trying to think of what they do at what do they call it when we get pedicure, manicure? Pedicure.
I can't stand people.
I've never had one.
Oil on my feet makes me like, people get when they do the chalkboard, they get if anyone touches oil on my feet, oh, look at them, they're nice.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Is that
where's that hand coming
is
from?
that nail polish? Is that nail polish or is that shellac?
She does it for a living. That's what
Is that
she
shellac?
does.
The nice one?
Shellac?
No, it's gel.
It's gel.
Of course.
It's enhanced.
All I know is you got to be very careful if you're getting a prostate tickle with those nails.
Punctures my lung with them. If I roll over on top of them.
Yeah.
Does your missus?
You fuck her up, she's not getting one back.
My missus does this at night sometimes. She'll be tickling my back and she'll be falling asleep. And out of the blue, she goes, I'm like she just squeezes.
She jumps or what?
Digs it. Yeah, she like have a spasm while she's falling asleep and digs them. And I'm like, oh my fucking hell.
He has done that.
See, my hands are I'm just like anybody else that trains and works, right? My hands are fucked, right? From years of just lifting and everything. Like whenever I'll do back rubs for Kristen, she's like, it's like an exfoliating pad almost, right? Like loofah or something. And I was like, you're right, it kind of is. Like my hands are fucked, man.
Calluses.
In a good way. In a good way.
My hands are pretty soft.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, mine look good at the moment.
Softer than mine.
See, but the calluses are actually my calluses.
Yeah, see, at least you got them. If you don't got them,
mine are embarrassing. I used to work like for years. I worked for like 20 years with my hands, and I had calluses like that thick. Now, nothing. I haven't worked in 5 years.
Lift?
Yeah,
I know.
Still
lift though.
That's it.
Yeah. But isn't it funny how that softens up?
I still got them.
I remember when I was young.
There from years ago, it was like a great big split. It actually, it would bleed some days. The calluses.
Yeah, mine's bled.
Yeah.
Did you ever do it like funny how they get like soft quick? I remember when I was young, I never wore shoes, so I'd be walking on rocks, grass. You could walk on a hot road and wouldn't even feel it. Now I always wear shoes. The odd occasion I go in the backyard with no shoes on, I step on the smallest rock. Oh, fuck. Fucking hell.
Oh, yeah.
My feet are that soft.
Funny how it changes.
Like those people that live in the woods, they don't live in civilization. They have calluses like that thick.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
Yeah.
I step on a little acorn thing in the backyard now, and I'm hopping around like I've been stabbed in the foot.
Bro, stepping on kids' Lego.
Oh.
Or
He-Man
action figures. They hurt.
Yeah. Like a little like action figure's thumb or like their hand will be real sharp and it will go into your foot. It's like, oh my god! And you'll see the imprint on your foot from just walking on it. I'm like, these things are lethal.
Doesn't hurt as bad as the child when I kick him in the teeth for leaving it there.
Rough. They got dark real quickly.
They got to learn, Xavier. They got to learn.
They won't leave it in there anymore.
Yeah. First and last time to leave that shit there.
They won't leave it there anymore because they'll be paralyzed. They can't even get it out.
Be like Christopher Reeve in his chair.
Yeah. No wonder your feet aren't accustomed to it anymore. It happens once, you kick a kid, and then it doesn't happen again.
Well, Stephen Hawking was normal until he left his Lego on the floor and his dad kicked him in the chin.
Smartest man in the world. I forgot about him.
I didn't do that.
Yes.
He was into some weird stuff, hey?
He went to Diddy's Island a few times. I don't know what he did at Diddy's Island. Did he give him rides?
No, it wasn't.
They say
there's information out of there. There wasn't information out there what he was into, like actual, like legit information, like proof, wasn't there?
What he was into?
Oh yeah, it was like sexually. It was weird.
Oh.
No, it was.
Hey, sit on my chair.
It came out after he. No, well, I don't know if it works, but he was into watching something weird or something. Like if you look into it, it's legit. It came out.
You ever hear of the day he was born and the day he died are the same as Einstein and Galileo or something?
Yeah, I thought I saw it on a documentary.
Yeah, he was born on the same day one of them died, and he died on the same day one of them was born. And they're the two smartest people in the world. Isn't that freaky?
That is freaky, yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Now
I'm a little afraid.
You have to look it up to see exactly what it is, but I can't remember. Something like that.
Yeah, I'm afraid now. Yeah. I used to watch
literally like he'd get into those. You watch some of his talks where I never watched that movie about him that what's his name, Redman or whatever played him, where he starts off, or is it the something of everything, or where he started off as a normal person and
Theory of Everything, is it?
Yeah, Fear of Everything, isn't it, or something like that? Yeah, about his whole life, how he was normal and that, then he slowly got that disease that paralyzed him and stuff.
Yeah, he was a normal man in college. I thought he was.
What disease did he have?
Lou Gehrig's. Most people die from what he had. Most people die, and he didn't die. Well, he did eventually, but he gave her a go.
Yeah.
I still got to see the new Gladiator. I still haven't seen that yet. For fuck's sakes.
Space is a big place. Space has lots of stars and messy. The Earth continues.
I'm only okay with this because he's done some bad things, I think.
You know what? You know who he reminded me of? He reminded me of fucking Davros, the leader of the Daleks. Daleks, come here.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What is that?
No, that one I don't.
Davros. You don't know Davros?
What's that of?
No.
It sounds like a Greek guy that owns a fruit shop in Sydney.
You know Doctor Who and the Daleks.
No, I don't watch Doctor Who.
But
do you know?
You know the Daleks, don't you? Exterminate.
Oh, I've heard of it. I don't watch.
Google the Daleks from Doctor Who and their leader. Their leader reminded me of Hawkins.
Steven.
Davros.
Back in 2 minutes.
Davros is a fictional character from the long-running British science fiction television series Doctor Who. Doctor Who. Okay, yeah. Oh, he's fucked. Yeah.
It was an old show years ago, I remember.
Yeah. But it's still going now. But the old Doctors were the best, but then they had to get a gay Doctor Who, a lady Doctor Who. The last Doctor Who's black, so they got to change them all now to fit in with the woke culture.
Two. Gotcha. Cool. What else is happening here? So we've got one more show happening here before 2024 wraps up.
Big Man Weekend.
The Big Man Weekend, the best named show in all of bodybuilding.
They should have called it the Great Big Man. The Great Big Man.
The Big Man Weekend.
The Buff Man contest, the Beast Man.
The Mr. Big.
Is that this weekend or the following weekend?
This weekend, I believe.
This weekend coming up. Yeah.
It's a pretty tight
race.
I know
Akeem's in it. It'd be good to see Akeem win a show.
You got Akeem, Matthias Hallweck, Horse MD, Pablo Lopez, Pablo and Horse Ensign. Pablo versus Christian.
I think that's going to be a good one. Yeah, Amir Omaragic is doing it.
Presti's in it. Presti and Amir.
Yeah,
those are the only notable ones. Sorry,
I'm looking forward to Presti having some. I'm looking forward to Presti getting some redemption at this show. I can't believe that he got third call out at the Prague. That was. I'm not saying he was at his best, but
we
third call out.
That on Dylan's podcast there. Dylan, he just put a podcast out today.
Yeah. No, he deserved a better look than that. Man, come on. He wasn't that off to be in the third call out. I don't know what happened there.
I predicted him second, so I can't. You know what I mean? Or no, third. Third. I had him third, I think.
Yeah, that was pretty bold. What did he end up taking at that show?
7th, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. He got second call out at finals.
Yeah, they gave him a little better position there.
Yeah.
And what do you think of Matthias Hallweck getting 4th?
I didn't see it coming. That's for damn sure. Did not see it coming. I kind of struggle with that decision because the whole question around, should Chris have won the show versus Martin, and then Steve Weinberger coming out and saying that it was because Martin was so much bigger and did enough in the conditioning department. But then you had a guy like Hallweck who was smaller in muscle mass than Horse MD, but just a little bit better conditioned. Wouldn't one think that Horse MD would take a position over Matthias Hallweck for that reason?
One would.
Well, I used to wonder in the old days with judging, when judging in the old days was similar, because you'd have the freakier guy like a Yates, but then you'd have the symmetrical flex wheeler. So sometimes it'd be like that had the freaky guy winning, then two symmetrical guys second, and the guy in fourth is freaky and looks just as good as the winner. I'm like, how do you go It's like the consistency just keeps changing. If you're going for that big freaky look, then the next big freaky guy should be like Marcus Rule in second, and then NASA. How can you go from like a freaky guy to a Labrada type back to a freaky guy? That just sort of doesn't look right. It's like
Paul Dillette, Lee Priest.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's what got me with it. It didn't make any sense to me. Who took 5th in that show?
In that, yeah, who placed under Horse? Because there was an argument for him to beat Horse, whoever it was. I can't remember.
No, I can't remember.
I confused people last time on a podcast. They said, how big's Horse? I was like, I think he's like 14 hands, and people didn't understand it.
Yeah, because they measure horses by hands.
I didn't know that either.
If you're from England, they should say he weighs 8 stone.
Oh, yes, stones. Isn't there like
stone? I know.
Isn't there like, what is it? Is it 7.5 kilos or so in a stone? Is it? Or
I thought it was like 4 or 5 pounds. I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Let me see.
Guy used to wrestle
pounds
with
to
from
stone.
Ireland, supposedly from Ireland, and they said he weighed so many stone.
So
was that back in the old days when
like,
they used to have stones and they used to put stones on a scale to weigh you?
It's like no, all stones are created equal, buddy. Gotta find one stone and stick with that one.
One stone equals it's 14 pounds is one stone.
14, I was way off.
Wow.
Yeah, so
okay.
Roughly 7 kilos then, 6 something kilos, is it?
Yeah. 6 and 6.
So I'm like 13 point. That's weird. I'm going to start measuring myself in stone. How much do you weigh? About 13 stone. I like it.
Are you that big?
I'm roughly around 13 stone. Yeah. I'm not
trying
that,
to put on another stone. It's hard to do.
Well, it doesn't matter how many stones you got on the scale, man. You know,
Right,
it's all about what it looks like.
Count?
What's that?
If you got kidney stones, does that count?
It's just another stone, man. It's just another stone. Xavier, how many stone are you?
No idea. I knew that fact though. I knew how much it was. I knew Lee was right there.
You meant to ask how
shit, man.
you meant to ask how stoned are you?
Yeah, we already know that.
No, 4.
You know, 4. His earpods off this time when he's the bong.
Just getting a drink of water.
I made a coffee. When I used to go with my friends and they talk about knots and that, I'm like, can't you just tell me how many kilometers or miles we're going? Don't tell me knots. I can't fucking understand knots.
Why do they have to make it harder?
Kenzen, you know.
Why do we need knots?
I know knots.
They measured the rope. There was a knot in the rope.
Yeah.
And that's how they do it. That's my explanation.
Yeah. Knots aren't that bad.
What I want to know, what's the difference between a mile and a nautical mile?
Oh, there's
the difference between a mile and a nautical mile? Yeah.
The water moves, you see.
The road's dry and the water's wet.
Is it because of the
water moves?
No. So a nautical mile for 1 mile, it's about 0.87 nautical miles, roughly.
That's just confusing.
What?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Why have a different one? Why confuse me?
Just to confuse things.
I had a girlfriend once, and I told her she reminded me of the ocean. And she's like, "Why? Because I'm so wild and reckless." I said, "No, you make me sick." I'm here all day.
One of those times I went tuna fishing, I was sick. I was unwell.
Yeah,
I was literally on the back of the boat, on the side bit of a boat, just like curled up like this, just like on the edge of vomiting. Non-stop up and down. It was like because you've got how rough it is on the water, but then you've also got the swell. And when the boat goes down and you can't see anything apart from water, it's like the swell's big. So it was just I was going down and then up, and it's like it doesn't stop. So you feel sick, but it doesn't stop, and it won't stop until you go in. So it's like 8-9 hours. It's like
some of those fishing charters. We're not taking you back in. You're out. I went on one.
No, you're done.
I got a little bit sick, not from the ocean. The ocean didn't bother me, but 2 other people on the boat got sick. And because they were throwing up everywhere, the smell of their vomit was like, one of them did it on the deck. I'm like, you couldn't have just hung your head over the side. It's like, blah.
Yeah. When I was in Hawaii, I went on a helicopter and actually didn't even want to go on as well because the price of it, I was like, it was actually pretty cool. But the only problem was the guy who drove the helicopter, first of all, it started badly because he called me Xavier and I just accepted it. I said, hello. And I was like, oh, whatever. And then it's like he'd get excited about something and he'd just start going like this and just going all crazy with the helicopter. So he was going over the top of this volcano that was like bubbling as well. So that was pretty cool. But then he was so sort of moving so much. I'm like, geez, this made me feel a bit weird. But I wasn't too bad. Then the guy next to me vomited and he vomited onto my pants.
Oh,
And the whole time I was like, And then someone else vomited next to them. And I'm like, nah, this is not fun because you're in a capsule. Like it's a small helicopter. I was like,
oh yeah, you smell it all. That's no good.
oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I ran to the toilets afterwards. I was just heaving, but it was, oh my God. Horrible shit.
Javier.
Javier, yeah. Oh, I've been called so many names. Xavier is very common.
Xavier.
Xavier. Yeah.
How do you? What do you? What do you prefer? Like
just Xavier.
Xavier.
Yeah.
Xavier.
No one calls me Xavier.
Oh, like a Xavier.
I do.
I don't care what people call me, to be honest. I'm so used to it. You just like, whatever. Unless it's really wrong, like someone called, I don't know. And it was someone that was in my life a lot.
My name's Lee, but they call me cunt, so I just accept it.
Yeah, no, I started to get piece of shit a lot. I don't know where that came from. But
You were getting that one
time. You threatening me?
Are you threatening me?
The only time I hear Lee is when I'm in trouble. Any other time, it's just honey, this, that, wanker, dickhead. When I hear Lee, I'm like, fuck, what have I done? It was like the other day when I was at the car show. We just parked in town. Because of all those fucking climate activists are in there blocking the harbour like fucking idiots.
That was up in Newcastle, wasn't it? Yes, where you were. I saw that.
All the coal ships doing something. But
you will not be able to use your dishwasher. You will not be able to use your dishwasher. Otherwise, you'll have no power.
A bike cop comes past. He waves, hi. Comes back, starts talking to me. G'day, Lee. I'm from Sydney. We're up here for this protest. Another cop car comes past. They stop and wave. And I said, it's the worst thing when you're a bodybuilder or look like a bodybuilder covered in tattoos and you got like 5 police standing there talking to you. We're talking about training and just the dead protesters, but everyone walking past is like, yeah, they've caught the drug dealer. They caught the drug dealer.
That's so funny. It was funny. I saw a guy actually speaking to a security guy in one of the supermarkets the other day. I'm like, got him. And then I see them like and laughing. I'm like, okay, no, never mind. I was like, wow, I judged that guy way too quick.
What happened to me at Sydney Airport after? Remember that big bikey thing at Sydney Airport? One of the bikies killed someone. He picked up a bollard and cracked the guy over the head and killed him.
Oh,
I to America a couple of weeks later. Same thing. 2 cops come over. G'day, Lee. How you going? Like federal airport police. How you going? They're good. Oh, this and that. What about training? Hold on, let me get my pad out. So he's just taking notes about training and that. 2 more come over. By the time we're finished talking, I got 8 police standing around me and they're taking like, okay, and the diet. And everyone's sitting there going, look, probably one of those bikies from the big fight last week, blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden, everyone looks confused because before they leave, they're like, Lee, can we get some photos? I'm like, sure. So I'm standing there taking photos. Everyone's like, what? What is the photos? They're so confused. Like, why are the cops having photos with him and smiling? They must be like, well, he must be the kingpin. He must be the main guy. It's like,
the main one.
Wait, they were writing down questions about your diet. What did you tell them? Protein drinks and Krispy Kreme?
Yeah,
like,
did you do the NASA?
Just write down, just eat chicken breasts and rice and salads and this and that. Yeah, but like I said, just the way everyone was staring because I was surrounded by police at the airport. They're like, oh, they got him. It was like another time I came back and they had the sniffer dogs, right? Coming back from somewhere, I had my cooler, but I had the cooler, but I already eaten the chicken and that, so I had to put it on the ground. The dog comes along, sniffs the cooler, sits right beside it, and everyone in line just goes, I'm thinking, oh, fucking hell, I think I got drugs in there. I said to the guy, I said, mate, I had chicken in there. Your dog can probably smell the chicken. He's probably hungry. So we just done and went, oh, that's okay. And then the dog walked off. But as soon as the dog sat near me, everyone's like, yep, they got him.
I've had that a few times, like where the dog in Tasmania, Hobart Airport, they run the dog over everyone's suitcases. So like my suitcase was coming out and I'm like, no, I haven't got anything in there like food wise or anything like that because they're big on coming into Tasmania because the island, fruit, like anything, nuts and seeds, all that stuff. So
yeah.
I was like, no, I'm like, I don't have any food in there. I said, I've got rice in there, maybe like packet rice or something. Like, I'm like, I don't know. And they went through, and I went to the beach the day before, and I took a banana, but I didn't eat it. So it was like wrapped up in my towel and like in a plastic bag. And you could tell, like I said, I literally didn't even know I was in there. I took it to the beach, and then like the woman looks at this other woman there, and she's like, oh, should I just like as in let him off? And she's like, $180 for a banana.
Probably rotten.
So every time I see those dogs, I start to get like this mild anxiety of like, am I going to get fined here? And it's probably like $350 now. Like this was like 15, 20 years ago or something.
If you paid the 180, I would have been like, can I fucking eat the banana for that price?
Yeah. I didn't even get to eat the banana. I just threw it out.
Oh, you didn't even eat it.
Nah, it's a little bruised.
Oh, that's the best ones.
What?
Yeah, the
No.
big ones, banana cakes, when they're bruised and going off, that's when you make banana bread or banana cakes.
Yeah.
Banana cake
that's
is
when you
amazing.
That's
Banana
when
bread,
you talk about making banana bread before you eventually throw them out. Oh, I'll use those
Yes.
for banana bread. No, you fucking won't.
I've done that many times. I'll keep that and make it.
I do that. I
Put it
do
in the
that.
freezer.
I do that
Do it
way too often.
Put it in
Then
the
I go
freezer.
to
Don't you love it when
go to the store and buy the banana bread instead?
yeah.
You don't have
No, it's
to
on
wash
special.
your hands
4-pack.
later.
Well,
True.
anytime that I made it at home, I always chuck in protein, of course, right? Now it's good. Now I can use it. Fuck everything else in it. Doesn't matter.
It's like
got protein.
Dave was talking about that Ninja Creamy on his last show. I was listening to Dave. He's
Yeah, I saw
it's
that.
the Ninja Creamy, and then you put that whey isolate in, then you add this in, then you add that in, then you put it back in the fridge. I'm like, I just commented on the thing. I said, just go to the fucking grocery store, buy a Baskin Robbins, let it soften a bit, pour your fucking protein in, stir it in, and fucking eat it. Fuck going for all this Ninja Creamy make. Because my mum would do that. She'd buy an ice cream maker, a bread maker, and all that. Uses it once, and she's like, nah, I'm not using it again. It's so easy to go buy it rather than make it yourself.
I used to buy the ice cream and put my like the I don't know what it was, like low sugar one or whatever, and literally mix protein in there. Yeah.
I used to do that.
Yeah.
Kit Kats and Crunchy in there and all the other stuff.
Yeah. So you're like, I'm getting protein in, bit of sugar, insulin spike.
It's got protein.
Justify it.
You're good. Yeah.
But that's what
It's got
Arnold
protein.
used
Gold.
to tell me, like back in their day, because I got the donuts there. But I used to do it for a while. And Arnold, they said sometimes after their training, because they didn't have insulin back then, they would eat like sugars, chocolates, and that spike their insulin, and then go have a meal.
House of Pies.
House of Pies.
Is that where you used to go? Is that where you used to go?
Arnold used to go to the House of Pies, me and Franco.
We used to go. We used to go. There was House of Pies, but then there was that Marie Callender's always had the pies. You ever go to Marie Callender's? And that's what they were known for, just all different types of pies. They're like normal food, sort of like the Cheesecake Factory, but they were just known for pies, lemon meringue pies, Boston cream pie, you name it. They had a pie there for it. It was just incredible.
Just hungry thinking about it.
Yeah.
David's so hungry, he's literally eating.
Yeah, I'm trying to eat my coffee. Looks like shit in there, but I put like coconut.
Oh,
put coconut oil in there.
Is there protein in it?
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil.
Yeah, coconut oil and my coffee order sounds very gay. So I'm not even going to go into it.
It sounds like you're trying to be too healthy.
Wow.
It's like, oh, I got a shot of heroin, but I'm using biostatic water with my heroin, so it doesn't affect me too bad.
I've got to tell you though, caffeine, it's like if I have too much caffeine too quick, I feel like by nature I'm a more anxious person. I feel like I just get too much anxiety. So if I have something that slows it down a little bit, then it's not, and I have less caffeine. But yeah, I don't know.
But you just have green tea, Xavier. Be healthy. Have green tea.
Yeah, that's all.
But some teas
actually
have some teas have more caffeine than actual coffees.
Yeah, teas got
Dave actually opened me up to that with kombucha the other day because he was talking about how kombucha has the black tea in it, and I was actually like, I actually do feel a little bit buzzed after I have if I drink a decent amount of it, and I'm like, I'm probably getting maybe like almost the equivalency of a coffee in like one of these 400 ml or whatever ones, 420 ml.
We like to call it African American tea, Xavier. If you want to be politically correct, thank you.
I apologize. I honor and repay respect to the people of this land. And
don't get me started.
That's an Australian joke. That's it.
We're getting all kinds of Australian
Repay
jokes to
respect.
this one.
Yeah, no, I'm not going
to.
to.
Well, in Australia, wherever you go to a sporting event, you can fly from Newcastle to Sydney, 45-minute flight, any plane you get on. You land, you go in, even in supermarkets here, Kmart, like just department stores, every 10 minutes. The such and such tribe would like to welcome you to their land and welcome you to country and this and that. We're the original landholders and the people of the land. I think, why do I got to hear this?
The Warren Joe people.
Go. It's like, shit, I was born here myself. I don't need to be welcome to every fucking thing I go into.
And Lee, I didn't even mind it, like here and there, but like these elders that are going to do this, even they have TV to be making
radio stations and podcasts in Australia even doing it now. We want to start this podcast off by welcoming. And when those Aborigines now do it at sporting events, some of them are getting paid $5,000 to $10,000. There's actually a surf club. If you can find the story, it might be good for a podcast. There's a surf club somewhere. It could be in Queensland. We're having a carnival day where they have like the swimming events and all that sort of thing to raise money for cancer. They couldn't hold it until they paid $2,000 each day for the use of the public beach because the land was on some tribal land back in the day. So the Aboriginal people had to get money before they could have the swimming carnival to raise money for charity. I'm thinking, it's a public fucking beach. Come on.
Imagine if the yes vote went through, like whatever that was going to be.
If the yes vote went through, that was like when they're going to give Aborigines different rights to us. That was almost going to include, even if you owned your house and land in Australia, you have to pay the Aborigines money every month to have your house on their land. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah. And when people heard that, that's why, like, 60-something% voted no.
Mm-hmm.
And then paying to go to more beaches and stuff like that. It's like, come on, like that's just going to bring division. It's going to bring division between people.
Ayers Rock, they changed the name to Uluru. You can't even go up there anymore because they said it's a sacred site. There was this one
you can't
farm.
go up there.
No, a farmer had this land. It's been his family for over 100 years farming this land. These Aborigines come along and said, it's a sacred site, blah, blah, blah. They went to court and that the government gave the Aborigines this family farm to them, so they had to walk property. And then 3 years later, they sold it for a couple of $1 million. So now they're trying to make a law. Here in town, there was a post office they said was on sacred land. For almost 10 years, they fought to get this post office. The government finally gave it to them. Then 4 years later, they sold it for $10 million. So they're trying to make a law now that if the government does give you land that you say is sacred, you can't turn around and then fucking sell it.
Yeah, sacred. $10 million sacred.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Actually, speaking of the post office, all of the federal post workers are on strike here in Canada now. Yeah. It's been like 12 days.
Yeah.
I didn't...
No mail.
I was driving. I went to check my mailbox. See, I was having problems with my business mailbox there.
I love it.
Probably about a year ago. I'd go and I'd check my mailbox, and a week went by, and I was like, what? I know I'm getting fucking mail. Like, what the fuck is going on here? So they had a new delivery guy that was putting it in the wrong box. So when I started opening my mailbox, I was like, same thing, 2-3 days go by, and I was like, oh, no, I'm onto these motherfuckers this time. They must have a new delivery guy. So I tried calling the post office. Called it like 9:30 in the morning, no answer. 10:30 in the morning, no answer. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was like, this is the Federal Post Service. I was driving to a job site yesterday, and I looked, and there's people with picket signs, and they have a fire on the side of the road, and it said Canada Post on strike. I was like, that's why I'm not getting my fucking... I went to my operations manager on site. I was like, I figured out why we're not getting the mail. And he was like, oh, so I was like, I don't know what we're waiting for now, but we're going to be waiting a while.
Yeah, How's Santa going to get all the letters?
What is it?
How's Santa going to get all the letters?
Actually, I found out that Santa's letters will still be delivered.
I didn't even think about that.
No, they're still going to deliver them.
My wife walked
don't
past
worry.
the phone box the other day, and she's standing in this phone box. So I was going to just to go sign some papers for a friend, and I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to? And she's like, Santa. I'm like, what? As she walked past, she saw something on the thing, call Santa. So she's calling Santa, and his voice comes on like Santa asking, what does she want for Christmas? And shit. I'm like, you're fucking talking to an AI fucking recording and stuff. Like, yeah, but it's fun.
That's so random.
Man.
Phone boxes.
You could actually download an app there. Well, you can still get it, I'm sure. But number of years ago, my boy, when he first got his tablet, he would download the app to call Santa, right? I'd be like, Dad, look. And he'd call Santa to just be, ho, 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 how's it going? And didn't even say names, right? What do you want for Christmas? And he'd rhyme off a few things, and then Santa would interrupt him halfway through. Oh, we'll see what we do. I was like, and he was like, Dad, I'm so excited. I was like, well, at least I know what's going for Christmas now.
You're like,
okay.
thanks, Santa. Now I got to go buy that. Thanks, Santa.
No, Santa
Imagine
doesn't
if the
get
app
the credit
says,
in our
"No
house.
worries, I'll get you that," and you're like, "That's $8,000 worth of gifts." Like, how do I break it to
No.
him?
That reminds
what?
me of Bad Santa with Billy Bob. That was a great movie, wasn't it? Bad Santa.
Good movie. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
even remember it now. It's old now. Hey,
Oh,
Yeah,
Bad Santa was
Did you
good.
ever see that?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that other one that came out like 2 years ago with Mel Gibson in it, where he plays
Christmas movie?
Santa?
no.
Oh,
And they come to attack him, but yet he has to start because Santa's people aren't believing in him. These toys are going down, so the U.S. government starts making him make weapons and stuff. And then these people, this young kid, he's like a spoiled little brat. Because Santa didn't give him what he wanted, he hires a hitman to go kill Santa. And Mel Gibson plays Santa, but it's a full-on action comedy, swearing, people getting shot. Santa's out there fucking blasting people.
no, I've never seen that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, look it up.
Might be
Mel
into that.
Gibson.
There's
Mel
a Rock
Gibson's
one now.
movie.
There's a new one with Rock in it.
Oh yeah, red one or something, isn't it?
Red one, yeah, something like that.
What,
Santa's
The Rock
jacked.
is doing a Christmas movie now? Come on.
Santa's
Yeah.
got
I'm not
muscles.
surprised.
Neither am I.
Yeah, the Mel
Neither am
Gibson
I.
one was actually the Mel Gibson one's actually pretty good, full of action and that.
I never heard tell of the Mel
Oh, really?
Gibson one. I'll have to look that up.
Mel
Never
Gibson
heard
Christmas
it either.
movie. Wait, Fat Man?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Fat Man. Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. 2020.
I swear I've heard of this.
Interesting.
You have a watch of it. It's a good action one. It's pretty funny too.
I have to check it out. What's everyone's favorite Christmas movie? I get into that shit.
So
I like Home Alone.
That's an excellent question. What do you qualify as a Christmas movie?
It's going to be Christmas.
don't
not
try to
not
stretch
Die
it.
Hard. You can't say Die
Die
Hard.
Hard or Rocky
Yeah,
Four.
yeah.
All right.
Everyone loves Die
I'm
Hard.
I'm
Rocky
o-
Four.
I'm
Goes
upset.
beyond the Christmas.
My favorite
Well-
one is my favorite one's the original and then the remake because the actor, what's his name, is in. Oh fuck.
Jim
He used to
Carrey.
come in the World Gym all the time. Miracle on 34th Street. That used to be.
Oh,
There is a
Oh,
Santa
yeah.
Claus. What a beautiful movie that is. Dylan McDermott was in the remake. Dylan McDermott, is it? Or yeah, but that's a good one.
No, that one was good. Wait,
I think,
Xavier, do you
I can't
like?
remember what that one that is?
Wait, do you like Home Alone or Home Alone? Like, is it the first one or the second one that you're into?
I never liked any
Oh,
of them.
both. Both. I love them.
Yeah, he's right into it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that's
love
fair.
them.
We just
No,
watched,
you know what
do, you
was
not,
good?
do you not like them?
No.
Did you
I
ever
do,
wonder-
man. Those are
Do you ever wonder what his wife actually did? Because they had a big house.
no.
And
It's
she
just
had-
what his dad did.
His dad was involved in the mafia somehow.
Yeah. There's so many theories. I love it. Like I get so into Home
Yep.
Alone, man.
Well,
Like that.
the
Those two
Lampoon-
movies.
Lampoon one was good. Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably.
There's rude jokes in both. I love it. Like, looking
Mhm.
back on it
watched
now.
Arnold Schwarzenegger one, me and the wife, there 2 nights ago, and it was not a very good movie. It was kind
Is
of
that Jingles All the
terrible-
Way?
Jingle All the Way. It was entertaining
Yeah.
and everything, but the movie
That was
itself
good.
terrible.
Was that
Yeah.
where Sinbad? Was Sinbad in that one?
Sinbad was in it. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was funny
Yeah.
and everything, but just the movie itself was just not a very good movie.
Mm.
I'll watch it again
No.
next year.
Honestly,
What was that other
That's a
shit
good movie.
movie?
I'll watch it
What's that
again.
other shit movie that he was in? Was it when it came out? You thought it was going to be good. Was it Maggie or something, where his daughter was dying, or she was a vampire or
Arnold?
something?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that was meant to be big, wasn't it? And then it just
An
Yeah,
Arnold
but I
didn't
movie?
even
I
see it.
never heard tell of that
yeah,
one.
Was it called
Maggie,
Maggie?
No, never-
Maggie,
never
Maggie,
heard tell.
Maggie. Yeah, yep.
I think
Was
he's
it?
like a
Was that?
vampire. Yeah, something, and he's got to help her because she's dying. She needs blood, or just a weird. Or something.
Isn't it a scary little girl movie? Isn't it with Arnold or something?
Yeah, it looks like it's meant to be a scary one, but it's just like weird. It's like
Yeah.
that other one he was in where he was a firefighter. I think it's based on a true story, and his wife and that got killed, or
His wife and daughter died in a plane
yeah,
crash.
or something here, and he went looking for him. Or
Well, didn't the air traffic controller mess it up or something? And he went
oh
to
yeah,
go-
yeah, it was- yeah.
he
the
went to his
airport
house.
controller,
He went to his house, and I think he killed him and his wife or something.
yeah. Mm.
That was a little bit off, I found, for an Arnold movie.
Yeah. But what's the Maggie one? The Maggie one's just weird. It's like from what you thought it was going to be to what it was, you're just like, oh.
Yeah, sometimes it's confronting. I remember I was watching is it From Dusk Till Dawn, where that movie I remember I was watching it. I never saw the preview.
George Clooney.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. When I watched From Dusk Till Dawn, I never knew what I was watching either.
Yeah, Catherine Zeta-Jones and stuff. Movie. And then because they were in a bar, and I was thinking it was a normal movie the whole time, and then people just started to turn into vampires, wings like. I'm like,
Cheech talking about all the lady parts. You remember the different brands he was saying?
I think I was in like grade 10 watching this with my friends, and we're just all watching it. We're going, what's happening? Like we had no idea what was going to happen in that movie.
Danny Trejo was in it.
Danny Trejo, I don't know who that is. I just remember, was it Catherine Zeta-Jones? I thought she was hot.
Well, Quentin Tarantino was in it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but Danny Trejo used to be at Venice Beach Golds a lot. He's a Mexican actor. He's in a ton of movies. You'd know him if you saw him. He's
Dennis Marino?
Oh yes, yeah. He's actually like a gangster in real life, sort of, isn't he?
Yeah,
Breaking Bad and stuff.
Yeah.
Not Dennis.
Yeah, I remember I watched a bit of a documentary on him actually, and there's like in real life, I think he was.
Yeah, he went to prison. Now he's got a donut shop. He's got all these other businesses now, and being like you look at his movie history, he's one of those guys who is in that many movies. You just sometimes don't notice him because he's in so much.
Yeah, Mexican Criminal. Have you guys seen him?
No, I haven't. No.
What's his name?
Oh no, you would have seen him. You would have seen him.
Danny DANNY. Then is it TREJ? Or something. Danny Trejo.
I'll find him.
I think I might even did a video on him at one point.
He kept in pretty good shape.
Oh, yeah.
What's his last name?
You click on movies and TV shows, and the amount of fucking movies he's been in, it's just like.
Oh yeah, Danny Trejo. Yeah.
Danny Trejo. Yeah. Machete. I remember him. Machete. Yeah.
This guy.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, he's the guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's in everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
I don't know about this look. That face.
I'm pretty sure Chong was in that from Cheech and Chong, or maybe it was Cheech.
Yeah. Chong used to always come into World Gym. He was pretty cool. He came to World Gym every day, Chong and train.
Wait, did you say Danny Trejo? You say Danny Trejo used to be down at Gold's Gym?
Yeah, he'd go to Gold. Yeah, he was in Venice all the time. He used to be down at used to hang out a bit at the tattoo shop just near the Marina Pacific Hotel. In that street beside it, there's a tattoo shop there. He was always down there a fair bit.
Yeah,
that dude's had a crazy life.
Well, Dave was saying on his recent podcast there too that Gold's Venice was still kind of a dump. Like, fuck, we should just have Dave on here. I guess we keep talking about him. Fuck,
you had him on.
Okay, I'll ask him next time. Yeah, I did have him on once. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I actually talked to Bob about that cut round thing too. I followed up with him about that. Did you see anything about that, Lee? I talked to Dave about it on my podcast. Well, Bob put forward the suggestion of doing a cut round at the Olympia so that you didn't have 60 guys on stage for classic and stuff like that. So
like a prelim type round type of thing to weed them out.
Yeah. I messaged Bob about it, and he said it doesn't seem like there's any interest with the powers that be. And it was probably a month ago or so that we did that podcast now, I think, Xavier. But yeah, they're not going to do it, I guess.
Before the Olympia, wasn't it?
It was just after.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was just after. But yeah, I guess that's not going to happen. So we can expect to still see, 60 plus guys on stage for classic and men's physique. There's like 24 or 25 guys like that are qualified now for classic
already.
I still like my idea. Like, I don't know, like Lee, I want to know your opinion on this. Say they split the contest season into like 4 blocks or 5 blocks or whatever, and X amount of guys and girls qualify from each division from those blocks of shows. So say you have 5 shows here, 5 shows there, 5 or whatever. So you go, okay, I'm going to, as a bodybuilder, you only get, because Bob's concern was that maybe guys will do too many shows and it's bad for their health. So they do all 5 shows. So to eliminate that, you go, okay, their top 3 shows out of those 5 shows. So just say they can do all 5 if they want, but their top 3 placings, you sort of just get points off that. So if you win a show, you've got a very, very high likelihood that you'll qualify, but just winning one show and not getting another place might not be enough. So we encourage some guys to hit 2 shows. So like, just say a Nick Walker's competing, just say the New York Pro and Detroit Pro 2 weeks apart or something, and just say he wants to hit one and just qualify one and done and be out. But he goes, okay, well, I have to win that show and then at least show up and do decent the other show. And that should be enough to qualify me in this round of shows. So maybe it's 4 guys from those 5 shows. So we get a few less qualifying. So 4 guys from 5 shows, each grouping of 5 shows, they qualify. So the top 4 guys from those 5 shows qualifies for the Olympia. And then you've still got enough time to prep. And it's not like we're leaving it to the last minute as well. It's just we'd have to cut the qualifying off a little bit earlier than it is now, maybe like a month or something, or 3 weeks. So you've got that grouping of 5 shows and the guys know that did the first lots of those 5 shows if they'd be competing. But then you could say like, this is the whatever, like you could have those 5 shows and a lot of the time they're European shows. So you say this is the European Championships and the top 4 from those European Championships qualifies or whatever. So you can group them even location wise if you want somewhat, if they're grouped that way in the year. But I think that would be cool because like, who wouldn't want to then be the top ranking guy out of the European Championships and maybe even give a prize, or even if it's 10K for the top guy out of each, first.
But I remember Muscle used to have their like top 100 pro list, and number 1.
I love that.
Could have been Kevin because whoever did the most shows had the most points. You might have been Mr. Olympia, but you were the number 1 pro bodybuilder because you've done that many shows and got that many points.
Yeah.
They always have ranking in the magazine. Yeah.
Most of the time it was a Mr. Olympia at number 1, and they'd have like a certain amount of points next to it as well. So it'd be like 7,600 and whatever. And I remember when it was Ronnie and Jay, it was Ronnie number 1. It was Jay number 2, but not too far behind. And then it was like a decent gap. And then it was a bunch of other guys. And it was really cool because it's like, oh yeah, that sort of is how it is ranked in terms of how we look at the guys as well. But I was even thinking actually, Lee, it's funny you said that. The other day I was thinking, sorry, but it'd be cool to have like almost like a ranking where just in real simple terms, where if a guy beats, just say Martin Fitzwater goes into a show and beats Nick Walker, then you put Martin to that ranking in the world, like above wherever Nick Walker is, and then just keep doing that as guys compete and just see how that looks. You know what I mean? As time goes on, and just see how it sort of ranks.
IFBB would make a rule that, I'm sorry, if you're a pro bodybuilder, all you do generally is eat, sleep, and train. That's what you do for a profession. Since they're so hard on if you compete somewhere, you get suspended, they've got so many rules. There should be a rule that each pro, even Mr. Olympia, you have to do a minimum of 3 shows a year. I don't give a fuck who you are, what you've done, because this way it's good for promoters, it's good for the fans, that you get seen more rather than these guys sitting out shows doing 1 show a year. It's like, that's bullshit. What other pro sport you only compete once a year? It's like, okay, I won the Super Bowl this year, so I'm not doing nothing again until the Super Bowl next year if my team's in it. I'm not going to play any games. I'm not going to tennis tournaments, golf tournaments. They don't just do the 1 big show. It's like, so bodybuilders, the IFBB should be like, listen, you want to make the sport better and get more eyes and bring more money in, is all have to compete at least 2 or 3 times a year, no matter who you are. Okay, Mr. Olympia is Samson. Samson might go to the Arnold and maybe get runner-up. So then that makes the Olympia more exciting. He won, but now he's got beat. Can he win again? So just, because you're not always going to be at your best and win, so it'll make it good to see that rivalry, and sometimes the champion gets beat, so then the next contest he can redeem himself. And I think it just make it more exciting if they brought out, fuck, you're a professional athlete, that's your job, fucking do it.
They should compete anyway. Phil Heath used to. It seems like after Phil, the Olympia's champions didn't compete anymore.
Yeah.
Prior to that, they all did. Coleman competed.
Hi.
Hey, look at that fella.
Hello.
Phil had a bit more incentive with the Shrew Classic. You know, like they gave big money.
He did Arnold
Prague Pro back then. Big money.
He did Arnold Europa or European Arnold or something.
Yeah,
So they've had a run of shows there.
Because what, Hardy's not doing the Arnold now, is he? But Samson's doing the Arnold, and a few other.
Hardy's out.
Yeah, Hardy's out. Andrew's in.
Derek
James Hollingshead. Yeah, Derek.
Yeah, James is looking good.
James, yeah.
Should Derek?
James Hollingshead.
He just started his prep and he looks good.
He does.
James looking.
I was going to say that.
Size and get hard like the Dorian hardness. James has like great mass and he has great shape too for his size and that. He's not like a big bloated stomach guy. He has good symmetry and the good mass. You know, if he can just hold that mass and get in condition. And I think, isn't James working with someone else? I know a lot of times he did it himself, but isn't he?
No, he's working with Stefan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always go to call
he's gotta
Stefan
be at least
Matala. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
It's not
not
the
quite. Stefan Matala is working with Patrick Tour. But James has got to be at least 25 stone. Just if you don't know.
Yeah.
I'm fucking bringing it back.
People are like, what? What's stone?
Big boy.
He's 300. He's 297 pounds.
He's a big boy.
Because he said he's 1.5 or 2 weeks in, so he's only just started his preps. So
Oh,
no,
that
that would put James at 350 pounds. I don't think so.
I chat to him a lot while doing his gaming online in the mornings when I get up. He's on there gaming for hours.
I get him sometime too.
Back and he's still playing. I'm like, Jesus, you're still going.
He must be making money at it. Think he's making money?
No, not really. I don't think he's making a lot. No, I think it's very minimal. But I think it's just one of those like because it's night time for him, so it's just like him catch up with his mates. You know, it's like it's the equivalency of sometimes like going to the gym or catching up with someone like how blokes go like go to the pub. You know,
you need a break where, like I said, if you just think gym training, dieting, this and that 24/7, you go nuts. You need that outlet where it's just something totally different people to talk to, and just just gives your brain and head a break just from bodybuilding. It's like you can burn out too quick just that shit.
Yeah, exactly, Phil Heath was literally teaching himself how to play guitar within the last number of weeks leading up. I don't remember what Olympia prep it was, but it was like mid 2010s kind of thing. He was learning how to play guitar just to get his mind off of things.
That wouldn't end well with me. I'd be doing that. Then after 1 week, I'd be like a rock star on TV, smashing the fuck out of the guitar.
Yeah. You don't have the patience.
Mike Menzer.
Yeah,
that video with Mike Menzer in the rock group. He's in like
no.
That's hilarious. He just walks out during this video and he starts flexing and posing. Got to watch it.
Really?
Mike Menzer. I don't know what band it is. I might even be a famous band.
ABBA.
No. ABBA. I don't know if it's
Imagine.
It could be his face.
Waterloo.
Take a chance on this. Take a chance on Mike.
I put ABBA on all the time. When I'm at Anytime Fitness, I go to the music machine. I put ABBA on or the Village People, and I just love watching.
Horrible.
There's always rap music on. I'm like, fuck this. I walk over. I put in YMCA. I put in fucking Can't Stop the Music. Then I put in some ABBA songs, and I just see people training, and they're like,
ABBA.
People did that at my gym when they had that at well, not my gym, but the gym I trained at. It was actually Danny Green's gym over in Perth, and someone did it, and these kids did it, and they did it for ages, and they kept going back there. And I was, even though I had headphones, it was still penetrating the headphones, and it was just, eventually like I was 2 to 3 weeks out, so I think I started giving them dirty looks. Like I think I just started like glancing at them every time, and I think they're just like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that.
But the good thing is that music machine they have at the gym, I'd put the app on my phone, so I'd actually sit there in between a set.
Oh, no one knows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'd push the song on, and then I'd start training, and then someone would go beside me. Who put this shit on? I'm like, I don't know. Who would put that on?
You're like, hey.
One guy was doing dumbbell curls though, and he got that. She's doing. He's like, he just threw the dumbbells. He's like, I can't train to this shit, and he left the gym. I'm like, 1 down, 20 to go. I'll have this gym to myself in no time.
Newcastle Classic was mine.
I was putting on Olivia Newton-John, Xanadu. I was putting on all the fucking.
Man, I did that at a restaurant.
Comps up there? Sorry.
No, I did that at a restaurant.
Oh, sorry.
I'm
talking over you. I think there's a slight lag there of like 1 second, and it's just like.
That's because you guys are all the way in fucking Australia, and I'm here. That's what. But that's all right.
Yeah.
No, there was
the signal's hard coming around the curve.
Yeah, that's the nautical mile thing.
Yeah.
No, well, no. There was a Bluetooth speaker at a restaurant once, and me and Kristen were eating dinner somewhere anyway, and they were playing like some Celtic music as you would typically expect them to do around here. And I looked at my Bluetooth and I was like, I could fucking sign into this. So I'd signed into it And I didn't play anything, but I would just stop the music at certain points, right? I would just pause. And then I'd look around. And she's like, and I didn't even tell her at first. And eventually she saw me doing it. And she was like, is that fucking you doing that? Because people are looking around and they're like, that's kind of fucking weird, right?
Should have put like porn on your phone. Should have put porn on all it started.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I think how easy it's to do sometimes. You ever been in an airport and you look at like airdrop and you click on it and there's so many that open? I'm thinking I could get the worst photo here and just airdrop it to people who have their airdrop to just.
We've done this. Lee, we're not specifically the worst photo, but we did this back in the day when Bluetooth just sort of came out. So this was like when people had Bluetooth on their phones, and we were in high school, so it was a while back. I'm 35, so we were in like grade 10. So we got on about then. So 16 or so years old. We're on a bus, and we're somewhere in Hobart, and there's people on the bus, and they have their Bluetooth on. And they probably not even aware of this. So we start sending people stuff and photos of things. And we're taking photos of, like, you know, when you take a close-up photo of like a fold of your skin, it looks like an ass. Yeah. So we're taking photos of that and sending it to people on the bus. And then people are like on the bus, and this guy goes, who's that? Who sent me this photo? And he starts like because he was so like funny, we just lost it laughing. And he just looks at us and goes, that's so weird. Just sits down and like he loved it. But then, we just started doing that all day. It was
just take someone, take her in the phone of someone and go, I'm watching you, and just send an airdrop and see if that person gets it.
My friend did do that. Like took a photo of the back of someone's head. I'm like, don't do that. It's bad. It's bad. Creepy.
Man, I don't, the certain amounts of technology, like you guys are all Apple. Like Xavier, you got everything Apple, don't you?
Yeah. I'm on an iMac now.
I don't subscribe to the Apple. I'm anti-Apple. I won't do it. No. Wait, do you have two phones? Yeah, of course. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
And one of those things.
And
I have an Apple phone, an Acer notebook, and an Acer notebook.
Mark, you still don't have a phone, eh?
A Novo screen over here.
Mark has no. One of the only person I know without a cell phone. Mark's Max also.
I'll write it down and I'll send it to them.
I've still got my Commodore 64.
I'll never get a phone.
64.
I'll be a happy man if I die without a phone.
Yeah, I don't.
That's good. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm slightly jealous, to be honest. Like, I couldn't do it.
I won't for Spidey because my brother says, I guarantee you'll get one, drinking his beer. And I'm like, nope. You'll see. And it's like 6-7 years later. I'm like, well, I still don't have a phone.
Still no phone.
Where's she? Where's she?
No, not for me. My wife's got one.
It's impressive.
Get a hold of anybody, she's got a phone.
There you go.
It is impressive, man. Like nobody can function without one. You're the only person I know that figured it out. People should be taking fucking lessons from you.
I find sometimes when I leave my phone at home as I'm driving somewhere, like, oh fuck, I've got my phone. I get it. I'm like, no, fuck it. And that couple of hours I don't have it, it's so great. I'm like, this is great. Fuck the phone. Yeah. At first you panic thinking I need it, but then I'm like, I don't really fucking need it. Whatever it's going to be, there's going to be there when I get home. Like these days when you go home to the answering machine and shit, I don't need to fucking answer everyone instantly. It's like, fuck it.
The thing I don't like about today is that, like, the reason that I would feel like maybe stressed that I left my phone at home would be that, like, I think it's a subconscious thing because I'm not even thinking, oh, I'm stressed for this reason. You just feel like, oh shit, I don't have my phone. But I think it's because, like, oh, if people contact you, sometimes people will expect a quick response as well. Sometimes, like, depending on the situation. So it's like
I get friends that write you a message. I'll go to a movie. Lee, how you doing? And because I'm in the movie, I don't answer. Lee, you okay? Lee, have I done something wrong? I'm like, I'm in a fucking movie for fuck's sake. Just because I don't answer you straight away doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. I'm fucking busy. But people want that.
I'm going to do that to you.
I'm okay.
Probably getting the message right now.
What have I done?
Xavier,
wrong?
I'm going to start doing that to you.
Yeah, no, I'm terrible. Well, sometimes we message on Instagram, and then sometimes it's in WhatsApp. I'm much more responsive in WhatsApp, you'll notice.
Yeah.
I just go straight to
Instagram
WhatsApp for you
sucks.
now. Yeah, I don't even bother with
that is-
Instagram anymore. I just
Don't
go
even
straight to
know
WhatsApp.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
like
okay.
Instagram because I'm between two different accounts, and I'm like, I'll see it pop up, and I'm like, where was that? And then you tag someone in a story, and you tagged 8 people, and it's like drops down 8 messages. I'm like, there.
Well, I hate the previews, but John asked me to go on his show at 12:30 today. I'm being like a Milos. I'm being a podcast whore.
Yeah, podcast.
Oh, fuck, you're
that
everywhere.
actually started on my channel. Someone in my comments said that, and then Milos repeated it, and then it just.
Now, you know what, gentlemen? I think we'll wrap it up anyway. I got to get up early. I got a couple hours worth of driving to do tomorrow, and fun never stops around here. All right.
Cool.
All right.
Have a good
Appreciate you guys coming
Thanksgiving
down.
to everybody over there who celebrates Thanksgiving.
Yeah, all the Americans out there.
Go
Yeah, you
hand
guys
out-
have a
hand
happy
out
Thanksgiving.
turkeys and hand out blankets to the Native American Indians.
Is that how it went?
And on that
That's
note,
how it started.
we'll sign off for now. Thanks a lot, gentlemen. We'll catch you on the next one.